Chapter 102. Authors often stayed up late, and so did Liang Jun and Zhuayu. Zhuayu saw that he was not sleeping, so he asked him to write and keep an eye on Xiao Wushuang's movements. Many authors were probably going to join in on the fun after this incident broke out in the wee hours of the morning. Zhuayu went to the study to write, while Liang Jun was still in the guest room. The two of them started to write and started to PK. But Liang Jun, who was known as the eight-clawed monster, couldn't get into it. He wanted to check the post every few minutes. He felt that he was responsible for this incident. What if the public opinion was against Chu Xiang? Wouldn't he be digging a hole for Chu Xiang? After a long time, Liang Jun only wrote 1,000 words. He suddenly thought of his previous conjecture and decisively gave up on writing. He used his account to go to Xiao Wushuang's fan club on the forum. Zhuayu shouted, "Liang Jun, what are you doing? Why are you so slow?" "I'm not working anymore. I'm doing something serious," Liang Jun replied at the top of his voice. He pretended to be a Wushuang fan and started chatting with them with righteous indignation. He wanted to find out who was the one who stirred up the Wushuang fans. Zhuayu walked over and saw the chat screen on his screen. He was puzzled and said, "You're too serious. You're even undercover. What are you doing?" Liang Jun didn't even look up. "I suspect that someone is deliberately stirring up the radical fans. I want to find this person. Hey, what if this person is Xiao Wushuang himself? That would be interesting." Zhuayu saw that he was staring intently at the screen with a smile on his face. It was obvious that he was very serious, very engrossed, and very serious. He couldn't help but shake his head and say, "No one can be as nosy as you. Do you need help?" "No need. Go to sleep." Liang Jun didn't explain that he wasn't nosy. He was just worried that his good intentions would cause trouble for Chu Xiang. It was better for him to keep this to himself. It seemed unreasonable to say it out loud. What Liang Jun wanted to do was difficult, yet easy at the same time. This was because Xiao Wushuang was facing a crisis right now. Some of her fans had already left her, and her fans' fighting spirit had dropped significantly. The people who were stirring up trouble naturally had to harden their fans and persuade everyone. On one hand, they brainwashed them that Xiao Wushuang was innocent, and on the other hand, they subtly induced them to control the comments. Liang Jun's timing was just right, so he locked onto two people in less than an hour. Of these two, one was the leader and the other was the support. They were definitely the backbone of all the Wushuang fans. Although it wasn't too obvious, with his sharp eyes that had seen countless catfights in the industry, he was certain that it was the two of them. The leader thought that typing was too slow and that it would be hard for everyone to see. So he opened a YY voice chat and called all the Wushuang fans into the room. Then, he used voice chat to instruct everyone which forum to go to, which thread to go to, what comments to post, etc. Liang Jun directly recorded the screen and then called for a technical expert. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the other party was still in a daze. When he heard that he was going to investigate the two IP addresses, he was about to go crazy. "Big bro. You're my big bro. Can you see what time it is? Why are you in such a hurry to burn down the house?" "I'm not doing it," Liang Jun hurriedly said. "Hua Zi, don't hang up. This is an emergency. It's really quite important. Hurry up and help me. The hoe that you liked last time belongs to you. Help me investigate it properly." Hua Zi instantly woke up. "What the hell? The hoe belongs to me. Bro, you're my real bro. I'll get up now and investigate it for you. Just wait for the good news." It was said that an author not only had to know how to write novels, but also needed to know how to write code, investigate IP addresses, and make color palettes. This was not a joke. Although it was impossible to be very proficient, most authors really knew these basic skills. What Liang Jun wanted Hua Zi to do was not to investigate the two people who were stirring up trouble, but to investigate their IP addresses to determine if they were the same person as Xiao Wushuang. As for Xiao Wushuang's IP address, it could be found from the comments under her novel. It was very simple. Hua Zi was indeed a master in this field. In just 10 minutes, she sent the comparison of the IP addresses. What was surprising was that not only was the leader Xiao Wushuang himself, but even the one who supported him was Xiao Wushuang. She was the one who had created 2 accounts to set the pace and made full use of her fans. When Liang Jun saw the results, he laughed. Huazi, you've really done me a great service. Beautiful. Hurry up and send me the evidence. The kind that's irrefutable. Alright. Bro, don't forget about my hoe. I love this kind of stuff all my life. Don't go back on your word. Huazi recorded the investigation process and sent it to Liang Jun. Liang Jun replied, "Don't worry. When have I ever done anything wrong?" After he hung up, he started to organize the evidence. While Xiao Wushuang was still pretending to be a fan and directing other fans to create negative comments for Chu Xiang, he used his account to post the evidence on the Longkong forum, a forum where many male and female authors gathered. The Wushuang powder that had just gathered a little bit suffered a huge blow once again. What was worse than knowing that you were being played by someone? That person was someone they were desperately trying to protect. They had all kinds of negative comments, constantly created negative comments, and were called brainless fans by others. They even had to risk being sued by Chu Xiang just to seek justice for the author they liked. In the end, their author treated them like fools. She actually split into 2 people and led them to fight. She even used voice chat to direct them. She was completely using them as a tool. This was simply too shameless. Xiao Wushuang's actions shocked the online literature community and even shocked the audience outside the circle. Someone asked in disbelief, "Is the online literature community so scary? Why is this more exciting than a harem fight?" The authors in the online literature community hurriedly replied, "A weirdo like Xiao Wushuang only appears once in 10 years. The online literature community is not like this. This is a matter of personal character and has nothing to do with the online literature community." There were also many authors angrily accusing Xiao Wushuang of being a **T. She had ruined the reputation of the entire online literature community by herself and asked her to apologize. Most of the authors wrote because they liked to write. They wanted to write well and not get involved in those messy things. In the end, this matter was blown out of the circle and such a person appeared. It affected everyone's impression of online authors. How could they not be angry? Xiao Wushuang was already stunned. She immediately exited the YY voice chat, but the words she had said in the voice chat room had been recorded by Liang Jun and sent out. Her ugly face was already known to everyone. Once the bright outer shell of a god was gone, she immediately fell into a quagmire and became an existence that everyone despised. There was ironclad evidence there. No matter how she explained, she could not clear her name. Could it be that the same IP did not mean that it was her, and that the 2 accounts were her roommates who couldn't stand it and helped her? This kind of thing had been said by several authors who had messed up before, and all of them were ridiculed. Did she think everyone was a fool? Under the same roof, even if it wasn't her, wouldn't her roommates, family and sisters have done this? Why was she pretending to be an innocent white lotus? No one believed her at all. Xiao Wushuang was at a loss, and the few gods who helped her were all implicated. None of them were spared. Their Weibo was full of comments asking them to apologize. They questioned why they were on Xiao Wushuang's side. Were their characters as indescribable as Xiao Wushuang's? If those great gods were fighting with each other, they would all appear very quickly. Some of them had a good relationship with Xiao Wushuang. They usually wrote together and talked about settings. When they saw that Xiao Wushuang had been plagiarized, they immediately stood on her side. They had not even read Chu Xiang's novel before, and it was completely based on their trust in Xiao Wushuang. Now that the truth was out, they immediately posted an apology on Weibo, saying that they would find out the truth before making a statement. 2 of them had previously seen the color palette and felt that it was fake, but because of their friendship, they helped out. After Liang Jun's color palette came out, they had planned to apologize, but they still had hope and waited to see if Xiao Wushuang could make a comeback. They did not expect her to make a comeback. Naturally, they posted an apology on Weibo, and even went to Chu Xiang's Weibo to apologize. They had done enough to save face. There was also a god who knew about Xia Wushuang's plan. She knew that Xia Wushuang wanted to sell the copyrights and create hype by using transparent means to make Immortal and Devil popular. She and Xia Wushuang were birds of a feather. They were the same kind of people, so how could there be any loyalty? When she saw that Xia Wushuang had failed, she immediately distanced herself from it. She was so busy in the third dimension that she did not pay attention to this matter. It was just that Xia Wushuang had asked her for help. She thought that Xia Wushuang was rightfully defending her rights, so she supported her. She did not expect to be tricked like this. When they spoke up, they directly nailed Xia Wushuang to the pillar of shame. Their fans were furious. Xia Wushuang bullied a newcomer and even implicated their boss to be scolded. They advised their boss not to take sides in the future as they flooded Xia Wushuang's Weibo and flooded her comment section. And the most serious attack that Xia Wushuang suffered was the backlash from Wushuang's powder. The Wushuang fans that stayed were originally radical fans. They were not rational and liked to quarrel with others. Now that they knew that they had been fooled by Xia Wushuang, they were naturally extraordinarily angry. They vented all their anger on Xia Wushuang. Now, Chu Xiang's 2 articles did not have any negative points, but Xia Wushuang's Fairy and Demon article rapidly increased by 2 negative points. They still remembered how Xia Wushuang had instructed them to leave negative points so that they would not be deleted. Now they had used all of that on Fairy and Demon. Moreover, this article had no help at all. In the blink of an eye, it had completely become a negative comment. Xia Wushuang's Weibo had also exploded. There were hundreds of comments every time the page was refreshed. It was unknown how many Wushuang fans of the gurus, passers-by, and onlookers were commenting. In short, this matter had been completely pushed to the extreme. It had become Xia Wushuang's exposé, waking up many onlookers who were already sleepy. Huazi came back to her senses and called Liang Jun. "Bro, I just saw the cause and effect. This matter has nothing to do with you. What are you doing? It's not even dawn yet and you're already so busy. Don't tell me you've been busy the whole night." Liang Jun leaned on the bed and smiled complacently. "Bro was busy the whole night. The results are not bad, right? Your bro is like a group of people. What can't be settled by me? No, you know that Chu Wushuang. Who is it that you're so protective of? You're doing this to help her, right? Do I know her?" Huazi opened Chu Xiang's author column in confusion. She was a new author. She had only written 2 articles. The most popular thing was this recent incident. What was going on? Liang Jun laughed and said, "Can't I see injustice on the road? Go to sleep. I'm going to claim credit." "What credit? I've helped so many people. How can I not claim credit? Do you think I'm a silent guardian? Go to sleep. I haven't been home for a few days. I'll get a thick packet and send it to you." "Thanks, bro." Liang Jun hung up the phone and whistled as he went to the bathroom to take a shower. It was already 6 o'clock in the morning. It was just dawn, but he was still very energetic. Although he had stayed up the whole night, he was young and strong. He was not sleepy at all. Just like him and Huazi, he had done such a big thing. He had to go to Chu Xiang to claim credit. He knew that Chu Xiang woke up early and did not know how to cook. She only knew how to order takeout. So he went out for a morning run and bought a lot of breakfast. Zhuayu slept late and usually woke up at 10 o'clock. So he did not bring Zhuayu. He went upstairs and knocked on Chu Xiang's door. Chu Xiang did not know about the news on the internet. When she opened the door and saw him, she was puzzled. "So early. There's even breakfast," Liang Jun said excitedly. "Quick, I'll tell you something great. I've already helped you settle Xia Wushuang. How are you going to thank me?" Chu Xiang made way for him to enter and followed him to the dining table. "How did you settle Xia Wushuang? What did you do?" Liang Jun clapped his hands and smiled. "I did a lot. I'll give it to you. First, I opened 3 accounts to help you control the comments on the article and refute Xia Wushuang's fans. Go back and take a look. I'm not bragging when it comes to rebuking people. It didn't take long for them to panic. Guess what happened in the end? Chu Xiang thought for a moment, then shrugged and sat down. What else could it be? It must have been Xiao Wushuang who appeared to be pitiful. Liang Jun's eyes lit up and he sat down as well. Mart, you guessed correctly. Then what else did I do? Chu Xiang took a sip of soy milk and shook her head. I don't know. Did you post the color palette? Liang Jun clapped his hands again. That's right. I posted it on my main account. Many authors helped to repost it. Isn't that awesome? It directly made Xiao Wushuang's fans stop being fans. Just watch. Liang Jun logged into Weibo on his phone and showed Chu Xiang his Weibo and who had reposted it. Chu Xiang held her soy milk and said, "Thank you. You even posted it on your main account. It's much more effective than me posting it myself. There must be very few people who are still willing to believe in Xiao Wushuang. You've helped me a lot. I should be the one treating you today." Liang Jun proudly clicked on his post. Look at this. This is the winning weapon. It directly hammered Xiao Wushuang to death. Chu Xiang couldn't guess it this time. She curiously took Liang Jun's phone and opened the recording. She was shocked to find that Xiao Wushuang had pretended to be a fan to incite fans to tear her apart. She said in surprise, "You can do that? This kind of person is also awesome. I have to give it to her. Does she think she can clone herself?" Liang Jun told her everything. He picked up a bun and ate it. He was really hungry after staying up all night. Chu Xiang understood the voice command and the IP check. She said sincerely, "I really have to thank you this time. If it were me, I wouldn't have thought of such a thing. I wouldn't have been able to check the IP. Come, is there anything you want? I'll buy you a gift." Liang Jun smiled and waved his hand. "No need. Call me brother. I'll take care of you in the future." Chu Xiang deliberately called, "Brother Liang." Liang Jun choked on his soy milk and hurriedly grabbed a tissue to wipe his mouth. He stared at her in disbelief and said, "Brother Liang, what? Why does it sound so bad? What's wrong with calling me Brother Jun?" Chu Xiang helped him wipe the table clean in amusement and called out, "Brother Jun, it's Brother Jun, okay? Properly. Don't make our house full of it. How did you find the IP? Can you teach me?" "I don't know how to do that. I only know how to check the simplest ones. This is still difficult. I asked a friend to check it. In order to get his help, I even promised to give him a thick one. You have to compensate me." Chu Xiang held her chin and asked, "Brother Jun, you've worked hard. How do you want me to compensate you?" "Well, I have to think about it." Liang Jun held the bun and thought for a while. His eyes lit up. "Write more chapters for me to read. I'm chasing after your novel. If you want to write, the more the better. How about it? This request isn't too much, right?" Chu Xiang raised her eyebrows and nodded. "No problem. I was planning to finish it quickly anyway." Liang Jun was dumbfounded. Then wouldn't I have asked for compensation for nothing?" Chu Xiang smiled. "Course not. I didn't intend to show you the drafts I had in stock. Didn't I promise to show you now? Other readers can't enjoy this kind of benefit." Liang Jun took 2 bites of the bun and said vaguely, "It's a good thing for me to help you read it. Think about it. Why don't I write chapters? Because every time I write, I can see the feedback from the readers and adjust the direction in time. Occasionally, I can adjust the bugs that I haven't discovered. But if you write 100,000 to 200,000 words of chapters, when the time comes, it will affect the whole situation. How can you change it casually? Are you? Then I'll help you read the chapters now. I can give you feedback and give you suggestions. Isn't that a good thing?" Yes. It's a very good thing. I'll have to trouble you to help me pass the chapters in the future. I suspect that you're patronizing me, but I don't have any evidence." Chu Xiang spread her hands and gave him a fake business-like smile. "Brother Jun, I'm very sincere." Liang Jun was amused by her. "All right, I believe you. I didn't realize that you were quite interesting before. You're very good at joking. How is it? Does it feel very good to be rid of Xia Wushuang's dirty water? Chu Xiang had already figured out his tricks. She put on a serious expression and nodded. Feels very good. It's really very, very good. It's all because Brother Jun didn't sleep all night to help me settle Xia Wushuang. You're really amazing. Liang Jun could tell at a glance that she was doing this on purpose. He couldn't stop laughing. Chu Xiang didn't know why he could laugh so much. She looked at him and quietly finished her breakfast. There was another knock on the door. Chu Xiang got up and took a look. Zhuyu, Liang Jun said in surprise. Zhuyu, you're up so early. He walked to the door with a bun in his mouth. When he saw Zhuyu outside the door, he wondered, why are you up so early? Didn't you sleep quite late last night? Zhuyu glanced at the dining table. I promised my grandma that I would meet a new friend. I was planning to buy a gift first. Are you guys having breakfast? Liang Jun said casually. Yeah, I thought you were going to sleep until noon, so I didn't buy yours. I'll give you mine. You can only have a good blind date when you're full. Zhuyu said helplessly. It's not a blind date. I'm just getting to know her. He took a step back and lifted his chin at them. Then you two eat. I'll go outside and have breakfast downstairs. Bye. Liang Jun walked back to the dining table and continued eating. He sighed. Luckily, no one urged me to get married. It's so scary that it's arranged. It's so awkward to have two strangers sitting together and trying to get to know each other. Chu Xiang curled up on the sofa and hugged a pillow. She casually asked, who's older between you and Zhuyu? You don't have a girlfriend either. Liang Jun turned around and looked at her. Well, if I had a girlfriend, would I still be staying at Zhuayu's place? I'm 2 years older than Zhuyu. You're 25, right? I'm 28. You should call me brother. Oh yeah, why don't you say something? A lot of people didn't sleep last night because of you. Chu Xiang was used to having her manager and assistant constantly reminding her about these things when she was in the entertainment industry. For a moment, she forgot what she was supposed to do. She just felt that the matter was settled. After being reminded by Liang Jun, she immediately took out her phone and turned it on. The moment she went online, she saw that the editor had sent her many messages. He congratulated her on her innocence and her beautiful comeback. Of course, he also congratulated her on the good results of the new novel. The editor had many words of encouragement. Chu Xiang guessed that the editor had thought that she was affected by the incident when she was hospitalized. Hence, he was trying his best to encourage her and hope that she could pull herself together. He was really a heartwarming editor. She replied to the editor and then posted a long thank you note on Weibo. She sincerely thanked all her friends who had believed in her, helped her and supported her. She also expressed that she would pursue the person who was legally responsible for this matter to the end. Everything else would end here. She would work hard on the new novel Demon King, and find time to complete the old novel God. Then she would bring more and better works to everyone. The moment her Weibo post was posted, it was immediately reposted on all the major forums. The plot of Demon King was very good. Everyone's impression of her became completely positive. With her nomination on Weibo, the popularity of Demon King soared and the number of bookmarks increased rapidly. There were even many people who misunderstood that Chu Xiang had plagiarized and scolded her before. They came to support her because they owed her an apology. Chu Xiang's tone was neither servile nor overbearing, and she had won everyone's favor. From her initial lack of response to the results, to her being investigated by the police, and finally, when the evidence was conclusive, she did not arrogantly take the lead to accuse anyone. Instead, she used legal means to solve the problem. Whether the legal solution was settled or not, the discussion would end there. The difference between her and Xia Wushuang's methods of handling the matter was obvious. It made people feel that they had gone overboard with their treatment of a talented new author like her. Sometimes people would feel sympathy and guilt for a moment. After reading Chu Xiang's Weibo post, many people left messages to comfort her or apologize to her. Because this matter had long been out of the circle, many people paid attention to it. It was repeated several times like a drama series, attracting the attention of most netizens. Therefore, an hour after Chu Xiong posted on Weibo, the topic hashtag "Who owes Chu Huang an apology" hashtag became a hot search. It was very difficult for an author to become a hot search. Because most things did not go out of the circle, there was nothing to pay attention to. This time Chu Xiong became a hot search. Her popularity as a new author was pushed to the peak. People who did not know about this matter found out about it. People who did not know who Chu Huang was found out that she was an author. Under the circumstances of many apologies and popular science, the netizens all knew about the cause and effect of this matter. At the same time, they also knew about the two novels, Demon King and Heavenly Immortal. Some readers who liked Demon King spontaneously recommended and reposted the first 3 chapters of Demon King on Weibo. This allowed people who were too lazy to open the book to read the content of Demon King directly. The 3 golden chapters of Demon King had been refined and were very good. They directly attracted a large number of readers. Chu Xiong's pen name was also special. It was called Chu Huang. It was very domineering and very easy to remember. Many netizens joked that Qing Xiong Chu Yun was originally a very poetic name. In the end, it was bullied by a soft persimmon and was almost forced to stop writing. This author was also very tough. She forcefully peeled off Xia Wushuang's skin and even changed her pen name to Chu Huang. Winner takes all. This was too cool. Some of them had a good impression of Chu Xiong because of her actions and were willing to support her new novel. Sometimes, whether a person could become popular or not really depended on the right time and place. Chu Xiong happened to have all of them. She took advantage of this wave of popularity to completely make a name for her pen name and novel. Although she would be forgotten very quickly if she did not have any follow-up, she would not have no follow-up. Then, these extremely unstable supporters would definitely become her true readers in the future. When Liang Jun saw this development, he was also convinced. He sighed and said, "Master is giving you food to eat. That's really good luck. Xiang, why don't you write a few more chapters while it's hot?" "I'm just writing a stockpile of manuscripts. Why should I write while it's hot? Now that you're in a good mood, you should write a few more chapters to celebrate. I've already finished reading what you've written. Look at how pitiful I am, waiting to be fed." Xiang, right. Let's write together. Aren't you chasing after my novel? I'll write more for you too. How about it? Is it enough? Liang Jun really liked to read Demon Emperor, and used all kinds of methods to persuade her. Chu Xiong silently picked up the mirror and looked at herself. She was puzzled and said, "How can you call a fatty like me by such a mushy name like Xiang? I'm almost suspecting that I'm a young and invincible beauty. Once I look in the mirror, I fall out of character and return to reality." Liang Jun took away her mirror and sat opposite her. "That's where you're wrong. How can you judge a person by their appearance? Are you a judge of appearance? Don't you know that interesting souls are the rarest? Think about the people we authors come into contact with online. Whether it's readers, authors, or anyone else, who knows what they look like? Isn't it all about whether their personalities match?" Chu Xiong shook her head. "I don't know. I've never made friends online. The ones I just met were you who brought me to spell. I don't know if we'll get along." Liang Jun choked. "Alright, you'll know in the future. Anyway, interesting souls are the most important. Don't look at how handsome I am. I'm actually not proud at all. What I'm most proud of is that my soul is awesome. You too. You're really good. Don't try to lose weight just because you're fat. Don't tell me you go to the gym just to lose weight. There's no need for that." Chu Xiong looked at him speechlessly. "Do you think I have low self-esteem? Why is your imagination so strong? Why do you always have so much to say? You're really a chatterbox." Liang Jun muttered, "I don't have much either." Chu Xiong stood up and patted him on the shoulder. "Let's write. Let's spell. I'm losing weight to be beautiful and healthy. When I look in the mirror, I hope to see beautiful women. I like interesting souls, but I'm also obsessed with looks. If you're ugly today, I might not be friends with you. Wait. Liang Jun grabbed her wrist and stared at her in disbelief. Are you serious? You're so materialistic. I just did you a big favor. Chu Xiang laughed. I'm just kidding. Even if I'm ugly, I still have to thank you. But it's true that I'm obsessed with looks. I really like to make friends with handsome guys and beautiful girls. What can I do if I'm obsessed with looks? I can't even stand that I'm ugly. Are you still going to write? Right. I'm not ugly. Why should I care about this? I'll go back and get the computer. Liang Jun was not sleepy at all. He was really in the mood to PK with Chu Xiang on the computer. There were only 2 of them in the PK. His condition was quite good and he confidently shouted, "Start!" But he didn't expect to be abused from beginning to end. Chu Xiang typed very quickly. It was as if she didn't need to think about the plot. She was just crazy. Even if he was an 8-clawed monster, he couldn't beat her. But when he thought about how Chu Xiang would show him all the drafts she wrote, his desire to win suddenly disappeared. He just wanted to kneel down and beg her to crazily write 100,000 words. Just abuse him as much as you want, as long as he can see more drafts. Chu Xiang typed quickly because she attached all her spiritual energy to her hands. From the original owner's memory, she knew that being an author would exhaust her knuckles and wrists. Especially if she wrote so much, her wrists, fingers, arms, and shoulders would definitely hurt in the future. She was very curious about the field of writing. She really wanted to explore it, but there was no need to hurt herself. So she simply used her spiritual energy to protect herself. This way, not only would her fingers not be tired, they would also move very fast. The outline had already been written. All the plot was in her mind. She really only needed to crazily output. After she finished writing, she only needed to refine it once and it would be finished. Time always passed very quickly when she was writing. Chu Xiang set the alarm as usual. She would get up and move around once in a while. Even Liang Jun would follow her and move around once in a while. He felt quite comfortable. He didn't feel as stiff as when he was writing all the time. They wrote until noon. Chu Xiang wrote 20,000 words. After she refined it, she directly saved it into 7 chapters. Liang Jun wrote 15,000 words and sent them all out. He even recommended Chu Xiang's novel at the end of the article. Today, Emperor Chu has been cleared of injustice. Let's celebrate. I strongly recommend Emperor Chu's new novel, Demon Emperor. Can't stop reading it. From now on, I will be Emperor Chu's die-hard fan. I will crazily cheer for Demon Emperor. Many male readers didn't read female readers. Even though Chu Xiang's incident this time was so big, the readers who were attracted were basically female readers. Male readers subconsciously felt that they didn't like reading and didn't even have the interest to take a second look. However, after Liang Jun's tweet, many of his readers went to read Demon Emperor while they were rejoicing. Readers who didn't like reading cultivation novels left. Readers who liked reading cultivation novels all liked it and urged him to update it. There were also many readers who said that they must support the novel that their boss liked. They not only liked it but also promoted it everywhere. The novel Demon Emperor suddenly opened a gap among male readers. Many male readers knew that there was such a well-written novel and they could give it a try. Chu Xiang saw that many comments under the novel were recommended by Liang Jun. She said to Liang Jun, "I know you are urging me to update. You want me to write more manuscripts, right? Are you really so warm-hearted?" Liang Jun smiled and said, "I'm famous for being cold and heartless. I never help anyone tweet. You're the first. You're honored, aren't you? Remember to write more manuscripts." Chu Xiang knew what he meant. She shrugged and said, "If you can develop a brainwave output device, I'll smash you to death with my manuscripts. Okay, it's time for lunch. I'll write more in the afternoon. With my current data, I don't need to consider the rankings anymore. I'll just update and enter V." Awesome. Remember to update more after you enter V. rush to first gold in one go. Hey, don't order takeout. Don't you want to cook? I don't know how to do other things, but I know how to do simple things. Buy some groceries and get someone to deliver them. We can cook according to the video. We can also exercise. Liang Jun suddenly wanted to show off his skills. Chu Xiang looked at him suspiciously. Do you really know how to do it? Don't order takeout when you can't eat. Let me make it clear that I really don't know how to do it at all. Liang Jun patted his chest and said, Leave it to me. Just help me. Okay then. Chu Xiang had indeed included learning to cook in her schedule. Since Xia Wushuang had solved the problem in advance, she could also learn to cook in advance. She bought a bunch of imported meat. The express delivery arrived quickly and filled the entire fridge. She also bought a few kinds of fast food in case someone bragged about not being able to cook and not being able to eat. However, Liang Jun was really skilled. He cut the vegetables very neatly and stirred the vegetables with a spoon. If he hadn't looked up the video and imitated it step by step, he would have looked even more handsome. The two of them made 2 dishes and a soup according to the video. Chu Xiang tasted it and found it to be okay. She had already memorized the steps in her mind and was just short of practice. The two of them chatted as they ate. Most of the time, Liang Jun was around and Chu Xiang was listening. Felt like background music. They were actually used to it. They had already thrown the plagiarism incident to the back of their minds, but the aftermath of this incident on the internet had not disappeared. Xia Wushuang was condemned in all kinds of ways. Her reputation in the online literature circle was ruined. The most painful thing for her was that the film and television copyright that she had been negotiating fell through. The copyright company directly stated that they would not sign the contract for Immortal and Devil. Her reputation was so bad now. Immortal and Devil was boycotted by countless people. Even her own fans were scolding Immortal and Devil. If the film didn't even have a basic group of original fans, then why did the copyright company want to film it? Immortal and Devil was not a top cultivation novel. If the contract had been signed at this time, the copyright company would find a way to reverse the situation. However, before the contract was signed, no one needed to waste time on such a novel. Xia Wushuang was so angry that she cried at home. Everything had been smooth since she started writing. She had used tricks to mess with other authors before and succeeded every time. Why was she so unlucky this time? Why did she have to fall into Chu Huang's trap? He was just a transparent newcomer author. Those color palettes, IP checks, screen recordings and so on. Although Chu Huang did not post them, how could he not do it? This was Chu Huang's counterattack. Her copyright fees were gone, her reputation was gone, and her friends alienated her because of this incident. She really hated Chu Huang. She found out the real identity of Chu Huang, who was exposed by her fans. She stared at Chu Xiang's photo with red eyes and said fiercely, "I'll drag you down with me even if I die. Just you wait." Chapter 103. Chu Xiang thought that the plagiarism incident was over, so she wouldn't waste any more time on it. She discussed it with her editor and decided to increase it from 3,000 to 9,000. In just 3 days she reached the number of words that could enter V, so she entered it. She had a lot of manuscripts and could write 30,000 words in every 5 hours. Therefore, when she entered V, she released 10 chapters straight away. Readers loved authors who released chapters the most. Yet she had released 9,000 words a day in the free period, and the plot was so good. How could there be such an amazing author? Readers loved her to death and spontaneously cheered for Demon Emperor. Because of that incident, all the major forums were discussing her speed of updating. While everyone admired her, many readers who liked to fatten up started to catch up with her. Demon Emperor's statistics went up another level because of the fast updating. When Demon Emperor entered the 4th place, it was directly ranked first on the top 1,000 words list. This was a very important ranking that only appeared once for each novel. It was the best way for readers who only read novels and didn't care about gossip to know about this novel. Demon Emperor already had 80,000 words in the collection. With this increase of 20,000 words, it broke through the 100,000 mark. With the addition of 1,000 words, Demon Emperor shot to the top of the golden list on the first page of the whole station. The 1,000 words also ranked first on the 1,000 words list of the whole station. This was a sign that a novel was going to become popular. Everyone was astonished at the rocket-like speed of Demon Emperor. This new author whom they had sympathized with a lot seemed to no longer need their sympathy. However, the crazy face-slapping explosiveness made them even more excited. This meant that they had not helped the wrong person. Together, they had unearthed a truly glowing treasure. That feeling of glory made it rare that no one was jealous of this novel. Instead, everyone had high hopes for it. They hoped that Demon Emperor would really succeed and trample Xiao Wushuang's Immortal and Devil under its feet in terms of quality. This was a true and complete victory. It was a super plot that even Shuang novels didn't dare to write. With such a big commotion and such a good prospect, the original owner's family naturally noticed it. The original owner's younger brother, Chu Jie, knew the original owner's name. After Chu Xiong refused to pay them and blacklisted them, he checked Chu Xiong's novel. This time, he opened it and took a casual glance, only to find that Chu Xiong was on the top 1,000 words list. What did it mean to be the top 1,000 words list? It meant that Chu Xiong's 7 days of income was more than most readers. 7 days of income was already at the top of the whole site. This 7 days of income was probably more than Chu's and Mr. and Mrs. Chu's combined monthly salary. Chu Zhe immediately knocked on the master bedroom door and called Chu Guowei and Feng Ping. "Dad, Mom, come take a look. My sister made a fortune. No wonder he's ignoring us now. It's because he's rich and wants to get rid of us." What's wrong?" Feng Ping hurriedly ran out and asked. "What money did your sister earn? Didn't you say that she had offended some big shot and that she was done for and couldn't write anymore? How did she make money again? I didn't expect it either." "Oh right, she knows a male author who's even more powerful than the one she messed with. His royalties are over 100 million a year. Think about how much his income is. That person is helping my sister. It's a mess." In the end, Chu Xiong won. Now her novel is on the Jinjiang top 1,000 words list. She made a lot of money. Chu Zhe became more and more excited. It was as if he could already see the latest phones, tablets, computers, and game consoles in front of him. Feng Ping and Chu Guowei looked at each other in confusion. "A lot of money. How much is it? She still has to pay rent. Do you think she has money left?" Chu Zhe rolled his eyes. "Course. She made a lot of money. How would I know how much she made? I don't write. The income of authors in Jinjiang is notoriously mysterious. Basically, no one reveals their real income. Only my sister knows how much they make. Why don't you ask her?" Chu Guowei snorted coldly. "Ask her. The last time your mother called her, she blacklisted our whole family. She doesn't treat us as her family at all. She's guarding against us like we're thieves. She's afraid that we'll covet her with that little bit of money. She should think about who raised her. She's heartless." Chu Zhe immediately agreed. "She's unfilial. That's illegal. She's your daughter. She has to raise you. You have the right to educate her. Dad, Mom, go find Chu Xiong. Even if she doesn't care about the family, she can help me write. Look at how much money she made. It's immoral for her to blacklist us and cut ties with us." Feng Ping said disdainfully. "What are you writing? It's not a serious matter. You have to study hard for university and graduate from a famous university. Then you can find a good job in the future. That's the only way. Look at your sister. She quit her job and stayed at home to write. Look at how badly she's been scolded online. How shameless can she be? Last time, if we hadn't gone to see her, no one would have known that she had died in her room. What kind of day was that? Don't let your sister lead you astray." Chu Zhe was impatient. He turned around and sat on the sofa. He crossed his legs and said coldly, "What's wrong with you guys? Chu Xiong is rich. Why can't she let me, her younger brother, bask in her glory? You want me to study? Then I'll have to use a computer and tablet to study. The ones at home are almost broken. Can't you guys fix them for me? Fong Ping and Chu Guowei looked at each other again. Why are you angry? Aren't you afraid that Chu Xiong will lead you astray? I was just about to talk to her. She's too outrageous. If she continues like this, it won't be good. Don't worry. I'll borrow a phone to contact her. That damn child. She blacklisted us. I can't even get through to her. I'll borrow a phone from the neighbor. Fong Ping had always been angry with Chu Xiong. She had never contacted Chu Xiong. This time she borrowed a phone and got through immediately. She was afraid that Chu Xiong would blacklist her again. When she heard Chu Xiong's voice, she immediately shouted, "Chu Xiong! I'm your biological mother. There's no one as unfilial as you. If you dare to hang up on me again, I'll kill myself in front of you. I'll let everyone see how heartless you are." Chu Xiong frowned and said coldly, "What's the matter? Where do you live? Give me the address. I'll come and meet you face to face." Fong Ping's tone was very fierce. In her heart, Chu Xiong was her child. She had to listen to her for the rest of her life. Recently, Chu Xiong had been disobedient. She had been holding back the urge to teach Chu Xiong a lesson. Of course, Chu Xiong wouldn't let her come to her house. She didn't want to quarrel with her. She directly went to a very famous shopping mall and told her that the 5th floor was a restaurant. She wanted to meet her at a coffee shop on the 5th floor. Fong Ping said unhappily, "What do you mean? I can't go to your house, right? Let's meet at the coffee shop on the 5th floor. If you don't want to go, then forget it. See you at 2. Chu Xiong hung up. She slowly spun her phone and thought about how to stay away from this family. Liang Jun happened to be in the middle of a word competition with her. He heard her talking to her family on the phone again. However, he didn't feel awkward this time. He even went up and asked, "What's wrong? Your family is giving you trouble. Do you need help?" Chu Xiong thought about how easy it would be to catch up with her if she took a taxi or the subway at the mall. She said, "Are you free? Can you be my chauffeur this time?" "That's great. Are you leaving now? It'll be almost 2 by the time you get there. On the way back you can go to my house to get some food for my buddy. He's been urging me to leave." Liang Jun turned around to get his laptop. "I'll go back to get my car keys. I'll wait for you at the elevator." "Okay." Chu Xiong changed into a set of comfortable sportswear and carried a sports bag out of the house. Liang Jun, who was leaning against the door and playing with his keys, was stunned when he saw her. So fast. Chu Xiong looked puzzled. "What else?" "Makeup. Don't you girls have to put on some makeup when you go out? You're going out without makeup." Liang Jun looked as if he had discovered a new continent. He was extremely surprised. Chu Xiong locked the door and walked into the elevator. "I'm fat. I'm too lazy to dress up." Liang Jun looked at her a few more times and said, "Actually, you look good without makeup. It's mainly because your skin is good and your complexion is good. It's similar to other people with light makeup. It looks like your health and fitness are quite useful. Even without makeup you look good." Chu Xiong crossed her arms and looked at him with narrowed eyes. "Are you feeling uncomfortable because you don't talk? You should pay attention to me even if I don't put on makeup. You're not my best friend. Why are you discussing my complexion with me? You don't understand." Liang Jun looked away and muttered, "Your temper is getting worse. Don't you only pay attention to people you're close to? Other people can't get my attention even if they want to. You're not that cute Xiang Xiang anymore. Are you trying to become Sister Xiang?" Liang Jun walked to the garage and was still muttering to himself. Chu Xiong was helpless. Fine. It's my fault, okay? Brother Jun, drive properly and don't talk anymore. Let me think about how to get rid of a jerk later." Liang Jun couldn't help but look at her. "Really? You really want to think about this?" Chu Xiong closed her eyes in the front passenger seat. "It's fake. I knew it was fake. You can even talk back to me with that mouth of yours. Why would you be afraid of jerks? By the way, why did your family look for you? Money. Urging you to get married. Asking you to find a job. Liang Jun just couldn't stay idle. Unknowingly, he started to talk again. Chu Xiang shook her head. I didn't ask. Maybe it's a few things at the same time. When I come back later, I'll find a store to change my phone number. It's that serious. Course. I'm already thinking about moving or going abroad. Chu Xiang was really considering this matter. She wasn't the original owner, and those people weren't her family. Although she used this body, the condition of her deal with the original owner was to ensure that the original owner reincarnated. A fair deal had been completed. She had no obligation to care about the original owner's family. But this was how society was. The legal obligation to support was easy to solve, but people's moral kidnapping was very annoying. It was also very annoying to be harassed by them again and again. If she went abroad, they wouldn't be able to find her. There would be no chance for them to cause trouble. If she went abroad, they would be even more helpless. They would definitely cut off all ties. Liang Jun was silent for a while. Only when Chu Xiang opened her eyes and looked at him in confusion did he open his mouth. When I was 10, my parents died in a car accident. I was left alone to live like a rubber ball kicked by my relatives. Later on, I went to an orphanage. At that time, I always envied others who had family. I didn't expect that you wouldn't be happy even if you had family. Chu Xiang thought of her family in other worlds. If there were people who doted on her, she was willing to get along well with them and enjoy the warmth of their family. If there were people who were mixed with benefits, she could treat them with respect. It was the first time she met the original owner's parents. They didn't treat her with sincerity, so she naturally repaid them with indifference. She thought of the warmth she had with her family and said, "It depends on the fate between people. Some people with bad character would still be parents with bad character even after they became parents. They would be selfish to the point where they would always be selfish no matter what. If they don't love their children, then there's nothing to miss about their children. Love and hate are mutual. Being bound by this kind of family will be painful for the rest of your life." Liang Jun hurriedly said, "Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just lamenting. The only ones I know are you and Zhuoyu. Zhuoyu, right? She seems to be quite happy. His grandmother really dotes on him, and so do his parents. He's also filial. Even though his royalties are over 100 million, it's not a proper job for the elderly to write. He opened a gym to give the elderly peace of mind. But sometimes when I think about it, I still feel that I'm better." Liang Jun slapped his own mouth. "No, I'm not saying that it's good that his relatives are gone. Look at my stinky mouth. What I mean is, you know what I mean, right? Why don't I understand? I know. You feel that he has a sweet burden. Although he is very filial and cherishes a happy family, he has a little bit of freedom. He has to be more obedient when it comes to work and blind dates. After all, the elders are so good to him, and he wants to repay them." Chu Xiang sat up straight and looked sideways at the traffic outside the window, casually concluding for him. Liang Jun laughed and slapped the steering wheel. "Yes, that's right. It's a sweet burden. But he's also willing, so he's still quite happy. If I had to choose, I would probably wish that my parents were still around. But reality is reality. The life I'm living now is pretty good. I'm free and I can decide what I want to do. This is also another kind of happiness. Yes, your parents will be relieved to see you living so happily." Liang Jun looked at her and shook his head with a smile. "Sister, you don't have to comfort me. How many years has it been? It's been 18 years. My pain has long passed. I'm just expressing my feelings today. You're more miserable than the two of us. If you really go somewhere else, we won't have a chance to see each other in the future." After Liang Jun said this, he suddenly felt a little reluctant. Although he hadn't known Chu Xiang for long, the feeling of getting along with her was too comfortable. He was used to looking for Chu Xiang to spell, cook together and go to the gym together. If Chu Xiong left, he would return to his original life. Just thinking about it would be very boring. He pondered. Why don't you think of something? I'll go up with you later. I'll sit beside you and not with you. I heard a lot of arguing on the phone just now. What if you're at a disadvantage? Don't get beaten up again. If there's anything I can help you, right? I don't even want to go to your place. Chu Xiong frowned. With her current weak and chubby body, if she was beaten up, she really wouldn't have any room to fight back. She originally wanted to meet and talk about the future alimony. Now that she thought about it, it would be better to do it over the phone. Anyway, they wouldn't agree to anything she said. What was the point of meeting them? She was also used to solving problems in person and didn't consider her own situation for a while. Chu Xiong thought about the possible situation and agreed. Then come with me. We've already made an appointment. It's not appropriate to go back on your word. Sorry to trouble you, Brother June. I'll treat you to a big meal tonight. Big meal? You'll cook. I dare to cook. I'm afraid you won't dare to eat. The two bickered all the way, and their mood was surprisingly relaxed. Liang Jun pretended not to know her and entered the cafe with her one after the other. They chose two adjacent sofas, and the Chu family arrived not long after. Chu Guowei and Feng Ping never went to places like cafes. The two of them sat opposite Chu Xiong and felt a little uncomfortable. Chu Guowei frowned and whispered, "What can't be done at home? The whole family actually came to a place like this. It's really..." Chu Zhe didn't want to let them go. He sat next to Chu Xiong with a smile and took the radio. He smiled and said, "Sister, the price of the things here isn't low. It seems that your smile is quite good. By the way, why don't you go home? It's not safe for you to rent a house alone. Wouldn't it be better to come home with us?" Chu Xiong lowered her head and took a sip of coffee. She asked coldly, "Why are you looking for me?" Feng Ping said angrily, "Can't we look for you if there's nothing?" She realized that her voice was a little loud. She looked around and lowered her voice. "Look at yourself. What's wrong with you? Why did you cut your hair? Why do girls cut their hair so short? You're already chubby. Now you don't even look gentle. How can you find a boyfriend?" Liang Jun silently covered his face with a magazine. He was afraid that he wouldn't laugh. He wasn't gloating. He just felt that he had made a divine prophecy in the car. They had guessed all the price and boyfriend correctly. Feng Ping couldn't stand Chu Xiong's stubborn look. She said angrily, "Chu Xiong, what are you trying to do? When did we mistreat you? We just asked you to sign your brother up for a summer camp, and you blacklisted us all. What do you mean?" Chu Xiong put down her coffee cup and crossed her arms on the table. She looked at them and said, "Nothing will happen to you. Let me do it. No matter what you want from me, I won't agree. I received a full scholarship when I went to university. I worked to earn tuition and living expenses. I also had to buy things for Chu Zhe. After I started working, I gave my family money every month. I paid for all of Chu Zhe's activities. I almost died last time and I figured out some things. I want to live for myself in the future. I won't refuse to support you. Every month, I will transfer $2,000 to your card on the first of every month. I don't care about Chu Zhe's matters. I won't care about anything else. Don't look for me in the future. The $2,000 per month won't change. If you're not satisfied, you can go through legal procedures. The forced alimony will be less than $2,000. Chu Guowei stared at her in shock. "You don't want to acknowledge your parents anymore?" Feng Ping quickly touched his arm. "Be quiet. Everyone is looking at you." She reached out to grab Chu Xiong's wrist and said angrily, "Tell me clearly. Do you dislike us and want to throw us away now that you've made a lot of money?" Chu Xiong put her hand under the table and leaned against the back of the sofa. She said coldly, "I've made my point. There's no room for discussion. Give me your card number." Chu Zhe had been staring at her the whole time. At this moment, he finally understood that she was serious. With a cold face he asked, "Are you a beast? Those are your parents who gave birth to you and raised you. Is this how you treat them? Your new novel won first gold and earned a lot of money, right? You give your parents $2,000 a month. Is this your filial piety? Don't you feel ashamed? More shameless than a cripple like you. Chu Xiong looked at him. You have hands and feet, but you want to beg for money. What position do you have to question me? Chu Xiong. Chu Zhe stood up abruptly and pointed at her. Who do you think you are? You think you're so great just because you've made some money. You're looking down on us. No wonder so many people are scolding you. You're asking for it. Sir, please be quiet. Don't disturb the other customers. The waiter from the cafe quickly walked over to stop Chu Zhe. Chu Zhe felt embarrassed and sat down unwillingly. Fong Ping felt even more uncomfortable. She stood up and grabbed Chu Xiong. Come out with me. Come out. Chu Xiong twisted her wrist and broke free from her. She sat on the sofa without moving. If you have something to say it here. But be careful not to disturb others. Fong Ping said angrily. You did it on purpose. Why did you choose such a place on purpose? When did you become so scheming? Chu Xiong looked at the time on her phone. I'll give you 10 more minutes. After 10 minutes I'll leave. Aren't you going to give me your card number? Chu Zhe's sharp eyes saw that her phone was the latest model and her clothes were also branded. He said angrily, well, your outfit costs $20,000, right? You're really rich now. You're treating your family as your poor relatives. Chu Xiong, you're an ungrateful, heartless, and ungrateful person. Dad, Mom, she's your daughter. How can she treat you like this? She wants to live a good life without you. Fong Ping heard that her outfit cost $20,000. Her heart was about to bleed. This was equivalent to 4 months of her salary. She pointed at Chu Xiong and said, Don't give me those useless things. I'm your mother. Can't I control you? Move back home immediately. In the future I'll take care of all your money. I think you're just making some money and don't know what your surname is. If I don't control you, why don't you do it? Chu Xiong didn't expect it to be so difficult to talk to them. It was as if they were never on the same channel. They didn't even seem to be decent on the surface. Only unreasonable pestering annoyed her. She frowned and said, You want me to move back home and take care of my money? What else do you want? Has my life already been arranged? Fong Ping said righteously, What arrangement do you have for your life? What did you write? You offended some powerful people on the internet and were scolded badly. They even scolded your whole family. How can you face us? Instead of finding a proper job, you only know how to do these messy things. Even your personality has changed. I think you should stop writing. Go home and quickly interview for a stable job. Then go on a blind date and find a suitable person to marry. In the future, live an honest life and don't cause trouble. Chu Zhe hurriedly said, Mom, why doesn't she write if she can make money? Fong Ping didn't even think and said, Then she'll write after work. She won't delay anything. Chu Xiong sneered, You've arranged it well. Do you think I'm a puppet? Don't blame me for being harsh. If I really record you guys like this, you'll see what your faces are like. Chu Guowei shouted, How can you talk to your mother like that? It's the same for me to talk to anyone. If you can do it, don't be afraid. Chu Xiong felt that the three of them were idiots and that it was a waste of time to talk to them. She got up and went to the counter to pay the bill. The three of them hurriedly followed. Liang Jun finished the last bit of coffee in his cup and went to pay the bill as well. He even stood in between Chu Xiong and the Chu family. When Chu Xiong walked out, Liang Jun followed her not far away. The Chu family thought that he was just passing by and didn't mind. It wasn't good to speak loudly in the mall. They followed Chu Xiong up the stairs and said angrily, Chu Xiong, you're too unreasonable. You unfilial daughter, you're coming home with us now, do you hear me? Liang Jun put his hands in his pockets and looked at them one by one. He said, Uncle, Auntie, this is a little too much. Chu Zhe sneered. What does it have to do with you? This is our family's business. Liang Jun stood beside Chu Xiang. Xiang's business is my business. I heard that you wanted her to go on blind dates to find a job. No need, we're getting married soon. After we get married, she'll be a housewife and won't work anymore. I'm not interested in adopting a brother-in-law. I'll definitely pay alimony every month. As for the rest, please don't force it. After all, it won't be good for anyone if things get out of hand, right? Chu Xiang was speechless as she watched him talk nonsense with a straight face. It was as if he was telling the truth, scaring the Chu family. Chu Zhe looked Liang Jun up and down and asked, "Who are you? You were eavesdropping just now. Are you Chu Xiang's boyfriend?" Feng Ping said anxiously, "What do you mean they're getting married? We didn't agree to it. Where are your parents? There's no marriage proposal or betrothal gift. And you want to marry our Chu Xiang? How can there be such a good thing? Furthermore, Chu Zhe is Chu Xiang's younger brother. It's natural for her to take care of her younger brother. Why are you, an outsider, interfering? Is it your place to interfere?" Chu Guowei glared at Chu Xiang and said angrily, "You're still not talking. Who is he? Was it because of him that your temperament has changed so much recently?" "Stupid child talk." Feng Ping raised her hand and was about to hit Chu Xiang's arm. Liang Jun grabbed her wrist and stood in front of Chu Xiang. The elevator door opened at the underground parking lot. Liang Jun let go of her hand and stepped down the stairs to protect Chu Xiang. He walked quickly to his car. Up. Stop right there." Feng Ping was the first to chase after them and shouted. Liang Jun and Chu Xiang ignored everyone and got into the car when they saw it. They let them chase after them and hit the window as they started the car. The Chu family was furious, but Liang Jun was quite scary when he was expressionless. They didn't know Liang Jun and didn't know if he would ignore everything and crash into them. They didn't even dare to stop the car and could only watch it leave. Chu Zhe kicked the pillar next to him and said angrily, "What do we do now? Are we going to let them go just like that?" Chu Guowei lit a cigarette in annoyance. "Then what can you do? Chu Xiang is all grown up now and doesn't listen to anything. Can we kidnap her and bring her home? Even if we want to kidnap her, we have to find her first." Feng Ping chased after them for more than 100 meters and stopped when the car was out of sight. She held her knees and said, "We didn't give her the card number. What do we do? This stupid child won't cut ties with us and never be found again, right? What's going on? How did she become like this? Do you still need to ask? That man must have taught her to do this." He was afraid that she would take money from her family after she got married. There's no one else who can be so stingy. Chu Xiang earned so much money on the gold roll and didn't give it to her family. She insisted on being a housewife for that man. She must be retarded. Chu Zhe kicked the pillar again, leaving footprints all over the white pillar. Feng Ping said angrily, "He's so stingy that he didn't even give her a betrothal gift. Chu Xiang is also stupid. How can she marry such a person? Look at the car he drives and the clothes he wears. His family must be well off. Shouldn't they have a house and a car when they get married? Chu Xiang can earn money by writing novels. He's the one who has the advantage by marrying her. Okay. What's the use of all this? He's gone. Quickly think of a way to find Chu Xiang. Let's go and ask her previous boyfriend, Feng Dong." Chu Guowei took a few puffs of his cigarette and called the two of them to leave. Liang Jun had already driven far away with Chu Xiang. He smiled and said, "How was it? I did well just now, didn't I? I saw that you didn't want to talk to them, so I blocked them for you." Chu Xiang was a little listless. She leaned weakly against the seat and said weakly, "If I knew, I wouldn't have come. I really didn't expect things to turn out like this. Feels like there are 10,000 flies flying around. My ears are ringing." Liang Jun laughed out loud. "You can't be serious, right? You can't stand it. Are you annoyed when I talk to you all the time? It's different. How could talking to a normal person be the same as talking to a retard?" Chu Xiang didn't even have the energy to talk. She just wanted to sleep, so she closed her eyes. When Liang Jun heard these words, he was flirted. He didn't know why, but for a moment, he felt that Chu Xiong was special to him. She was different from others. He turned to look at Chu Xiong. He saw that Chu Xiong had closed her eyes and looked tired. It was rare that he didn't say anything and just drove silently. However, his mind wasn't quiet at all. It was a mess and he couldn't make sense of it. Today he couldn't bear to let Chu Xiong go abroad, and he was flirted with by Chu Xiong. He even thought that Chu Xiong looked cute without makeup. He was subconsciously worried that she would be bullied by her family. He was very abnormal. God Liang, who had seen countless plots, understood that he was a little tempted when he was waiting at a red light. When he understood this, he was even more confused. He had never liked anyone. Zhu Yu and Hua Zi both had high standards. Why was he suddenly attracted to Chu Xiong? He couldn't help but look at Chu Xiong a few more times. To be honest, Chu Xiong really didn't fit the criteria of a beautiful woman. Although he could see that Chu Xiong's facial features were not bad, she was fat and ruined everything. She really couldn't be considered a beauty. However, he wasn't obsessed with looks. He cared more about interesting souls. Was he attracted to Chu Xiong because she was an interesting person? There were many interesting people. How could he be attracted to someone so easily? Liang Jun thought about it and became confused again. He looked at Chu Xiong again and realized that she had fallen asleep. This made him feel a little frustrated. He had just pretended to be Chu Xiong's boyfriend in front of the Chu family and lied about marriage. How could Chu Xiong fall asleep? Chu Xiong clearly didn't care about this matter at all. She didn't even ask about it or mention it. It was as if that part didn't exist at all. Liang Jun was scratching his heart and lungs. When he was waiting at a red light again, he decided not to make things difficult for himself. He didn't want to think about what would happen if he and Chu Xiong were together. This fantasy was amazing. He and Chu Xiong had always been compatible. Recently, Zhua Yu had been asked by the elders to meet Lu Yao and was often not at home. He was almost always at Chu Xiong's place to write novels and learn how to cook with Chu Xiong. If they were together, they would write novels together, cook together, work out together, travel together, and spend their leisure time together. Amazing. This was simply the life of a god. When Liang Jun came back to his senses, he saw his smiling face in the rearview mirror. He realized that he was looking forward to the life in his fantasy. He didn't reject it at all. He couldn't help but smile. In his heart, he was already thinking about how to pursue Chu Xiong. Chu Xiong was woken up by the sunlight. When she opened her eyes, she saw Liang Jun smiling foolishly. She was speechless. "Why are you so happy when you're alone? I really have to hand it to you." She sat up straight, stretched, and looked outside. "Where are we?" "We're almost at my house. Can't we go and get a thick card?" "We'll get a card later. I can see that your family is unreasonable. They value boys over girls. They think that you should be enslaved by them and listen to them. There's no way to communicate with such people. It's better to use your method. It's unnecessary for me to pretend to be your boyfriend." They actually increased their demands for betrothal gifts. Impressive. Liang Jun shook his head. He really didn't think about the betrothal gifts. He thought that it was reasonable that Chu Xiong would become a housewife and not be able to take care of her family. He didn't expect that he would lose to the Chu family. Chu Xiong leaned against the car window and said, "Don't reflect. We both failed today. It's mainly because we've never encountered such a situation. We miscalculated. We learned from our mistakes. In the future, if we meet someone of the highest quality, we'll hide far away. Don't try to talk to them." Liang Jun was puzzled. Why does it seem like this is the first time you've encountered such a situation? Aren't they your family? Yes, but I used to be submissive and listen to them. I didn't expect that resisting would be as annoying as flies flying around. Chu Xiong felt annoyed just thinking about it. It was really a waste of time. She shouldn't have gone. Liang Jun laughed when he saw her appearance. Only then did he realize that he was always amused by her. Obviously, she didn't make any jokes. Maybe he liked her a little. Wasn't liking something inexplicable. Liang Jun took a deep breath and was a little nervous. He put on his best smile and said, "Don't think about those things. They can't find you anyway. Here's my house. I'll show you around my house. I'm sure you'll like it." Chu Xiang listened to him and looked out at the surrounding environment. She didn't notice his smile at all. Liang Jun's smile froze. He secretly slapped his own mouth and stopped the car to invite Chu Xiang to get out. "Let's go, Xiang Xiang. Come and see my house. I just renovated it. It's bright." Liang Jun pushed the door open and walked in with Chu Xiang. There was a slightly proud smile on his face, waiting for praise. After Chu Xiang walked in, she understood why he was proud. This was a courtyard house in the capital. It was really impressive to have a courtyard house in the capital. Although she had seen all kinds of luxurious and quaint courtyards, she still praised sincerely. "Brother Jun, you're amazing. You hit it well. I really couldn't tell that a sci-fi author like you would like such a quaint courtyard house." Liang Jun said proudly, "I'm a person with a lot of diversity. Otherwise, how can I be an interesting soul? This is my house that I bought years ago after selling several copyrights. Look at the birds and the fragrance of the flowers here. It's obviously in the bustling capital, but it's far away from the hustle and bustle. Isn't it very artistic?" He coughed softly and said casually, "Actually, it's very special when I'm writing here. Do you want to move here? There are many guest rooms here. There's also a gym. It's comfortable to live here and write happily. I guarantee that your family won't find you. How about it? Think about it." Chapter 104. Chu Xiang looked at Liang Jun from head to toe in confusion. Liang Jun was a little nervous under her gaze. After confirming that his clothes were fine, he asked, "What's wrong? What are you looking at?" "I'm looking at whether you are a beast in human clothing. You actually want me to live in your house. What are you thinking?" Chu Xiang rolled her eyes at him and walked into the house first. "Take the thick clothes. I can work out in the gym for a while when I go back." Liang Jun hurriedly followed her and explained, "No, don't misunderstand. What I mean is, isn't this house big? There are many rooms, and the writing environment is good. I'm not cohabiting. We don't even have to live in the same house. Isn't it similar to being neighbors? It's even further away from Joyeu's house than you are now. Well, it's fine if you don't come. I really don't mean anything else. I'm not a beast in human clothing." Chu Xiang looked at him again and was a little puzzled. "I'm just joking. Why are you so nervous? Tell me the truth. Why are you acting weird today?" Liang Jun touched his face subconsciously and looked puzzled. "Am I acting weird?" He was a little flustered and avoided Chu Xiang's gaze. His first reaction was to smile as usual. "What? I just wanted to show off my house to you. I was afraid that you would misunderstand if I said the wrong thing. Well, you can look around by yourself. I'll go look for Ho. Just look around. I just renovated it. You can give me some advice." Liang Jun hurried to the bedroom. He remembered that Ho was in the bedroom cabinet. Chu Xiang put down her bag and strolled around the house slowly. The house was very big and spacious. The living room was antique and artistic. She would consciously lower her volume when she was in the living room. It felt as if a lady was brewing tea at any time. The study room was very modern. The writing chair looked comfortable. The table was mechanical and could be pushed up and down. There were 2 big screens on the table. One was curved and the other was facing. There was also a mechanical arm that was similar to the one in her house. There was a small screen on the arm. A wrist rest was indispensable, and the equipment was twice as much as hers. According to Liang Jun's words, this house should be habitable. He actually did not come back to use this set of equipment to write his story. He had been hugging his laptop and staying at Joyeu's house. It seemed that he liked to be crowded and did not like to be alone. There was a large display cabinet next to it. Inside the glass cabinet there were many awards and trophies. They were all related to literature. Chu Xiang stopped and looked at it for a while. She used to have a display cabinet, but it was filled with awards for Best Actress. Although they were in different categories, achieving great achievements in their field of expertise was always the most attractive thing. At this moment, Liang Jun's image in Chu Xiang's heart instantly became a lot more serious. No matter what his personality was like, he was really a web novel god worthy of respect. Liang Jun came over and saw her looking at his trophies. He immediately smiled like a peacock. "How is it? Is it okay?" Chu Xiang was not stingy with her praise. "Excellent. Brother Jun, you are amazing." "It's okay." Liang Jun stood upright beside Chu Xiang and straightened his collar. He saw the bookshelf and pulled Chu Xiang over. "Don't you want to look at the reference books? Look here, these are all the reference books. I'll pick a few that are suitable for you." Liang Jun was a little annoyed that he forgot to help Chu Xiang pick the book list. Then he was a little happy that he did not pick the book list because this way, he could lend his books to Chu Xiang. He quickly took out a dozen books. These are all very well written. The content is easy to touch on some of the points of our writing. You take them back and have a look. After you finish reading, there are other books. Chu Xiang reached out to take the books. Liang Jun saw it and immediately moved away. "I'll take them to the car. You don't need to move." Chu Xiang looked at him striding out of the door. She touched her chin thoughtfully. She couldn't help but wave her hand and take out the heaven and earth mirror to look at her appearance. 168 centimeters tall, 132 kilograms, a round face, wearing a very old-fashioned short-sighted glasses. That's right, she was still a mortal, not a beauty. Why did Liang Jun seem to be attentive to her? As a person who cares about appearances, Chu Xiang quickly put away the mirror. She didn't like to look at it. Of course, she didn't understand why Liang Jun was so considerate of her. She was about to go out to find Liang Jun, but Liang Jun came back and showed her the other rooms. The game room was the most modern. There were various game consoles, helmets, steering wheels, and other equipment. There were also intelligent robots. The video room was equipped with special advanced video equipment. It had the effect of a movie theater at home. It was very good. There were all kinds of equipment in the gym. They were neatly arranged. It was enough for her to use. It was really well equipped. She wouldn't feel bored at home even if she didn't go out. Chu Xiang also had a preliminary understanding of what a relatively homebody web novel master could do to his home. He could really add whatever he liked to the house. He could satisfy his entertainment needs without going out. She even began to imagine how her villa would be decorated in the future. Compared to this courtyard house, she felt that it would be perfect if she added a swimming pool on top of this foundation. After Liang Jun introduced Chu Xiang inside and outside his home, he finally drove her away with satisfaction. They went to get a phone card. Chu Xiang applied for a new WeChat and email account. She changed everything in the car. Liang Jun was naturally the first person to know all of her new contact information. He was overjoyed, as if he had received some benefits. When they arrived at the gym, they were surprised to see Zhuayu. Zhuayu was accompanied by a beautiful and fashionable girl. Liang Jun took the lead and walked over. "Zhuayu, you're back so early today. Is this your friend?" Zhuayu found that the two of them weren't home when he came back earlier. Now that he saw them coming back together and even going to the gym together, he had a very subtle feeling in his heart. His gaze quickly swept over the two of them and he replied, "Let me introduce you. This is my friend Lu Yao. She knew that I opened a gym and wanted to come over to take a look. Lu Yao, these two are my friends Liang Jun and Chu Xiang." The few of them greeted each other. Liang Jun smiled and said, "We won't disturb you. Let's go over there and train." After that, he winked mischievously at Zhuayu from a place where Lu Yao couldn't see. He called Chu Xiang and walked away together. Lu Yao smiled and asked, Are the two of them a couple? Zhuayu was stunned when he heard this. Huh. No, they haven't known each other for long. Lu Yao looked at the backs of the two of them and smiled. Is that so? I thought the two of them had such chemistry and looked so harmonious. They might have been together for a long time. They really support you by coming here to work out. They live in the same building as me and are neighbors. It's convenient for them to come here to work out, Zhuayu replied casually. He still hadn't recovered from the fact that the two of them were seen as a couple. Lu Yao tried to sound him out. It's also because your gym is really good. I'll get a membership too. After work I can come over and exercise. I can also join in the fun with you guys. She was afraid that Zhuayu would refuse, so she hurriedly said, After I came back from abroad, I've become estranged from my old friends. I really don't know how to pass the time after work. Of course, Zhuayu had no reason to refuse. He personally took her to get a membership and accompanied her to learn about a few types of equipment. When it was time for dinner, Lu Yao took the initiative to suggest that the four of them eat together. However, Chu Xiang and Liang Jun both knew that the two of them were on a blind date. How could they be third wheels? Even if Liang Jun didn't like Lu Yao, it wasn't appropriate for them to get involved. The two of them casually found an excuse to decline. Together, they went to buy a bunch of groceries to fill up Chu Xiang's fridge again. When they heard the sound of the elevator, Liang Jun opened the door and went back with Zhuayu. Liang Jun saw that Zhuayu was exhausted and asked curiously, What's wrong with you? You don't like that girl. Why don't you feel happy about your date at all? He thought about how he had gone out with Chu Xiang today and was still excited. Zhuayu had been on several dates, so why didn't he smile at all? Zhuayu sighed and shook his head as he sat on the sofa. You like her wherever she goes. We've only met a few times. The corners of Liang Jun's mouth curled up and he muttered, Isn't it just a matter of a moment? If you really like her, you might like her. You speak as if you have experience. You're a single dog who has never been in a relationship, so don't blindly join in the fun. Zhuayu lay down on the sofa and closed his eyes. I don't like blind dates. It's okay to make a friend, but friends also have to get along naturally. Feels weird to specially ask her out for a meeting like this. I'll be busy with her in the future. She should understand what I mean and won't look for me again. Liang Jun threw a bottle of water to him and sat on the sofa to drink. He couldn't give any advice in this regard. After all, the blind date was requested by Grandma Zhua. Whether he liked the girl or not was up to Zhuayu, so it wasn't appropriate for him to interfere. Zhuayu recalled that Liang Jun had just returned from Chu Xiang's place and casually asked, You've been hanging out with Chu Xiang recently. I see that you're very comfortable going in and out of her house. Have you gained another gay friend? Liang Jun laughed at the mention of Chu Xiang. That's right. Chu Xiang is too interesting. Her writing is also very good. Let me tell you, I'm now her #1 fan. I can see her latest chapters and know all the plots that she has written. Which reader who chases after her chapters has the same benefits as me? Are you saying that I'm awesome or not? Zhuayu laughed in surprise. That's really awesome. How did you do it? Did you help Chu Xiang change her novel? Liang Jun waved his hand. Change what novel? At this stage, she has to rely on herself to figure out her own personal style and practice her own language sense and habits. Wouldn't I affect her if I changed her novel? I'm just a person of good character and got a lot of favor. She's really focused on writing and doesn't care about what's going on outside. She hasn't heard of a lot of things that I've written with her. She's so cute and really fun. Recently, I've brought her to meet a lot of authors. She's having a lot of fun writing. Hey, if you don't have anything else to do, let's write together. Okay. I'm going to take a shower. I haven't written today's chapter yet. Let's have a round of PK. I'll risk my life to accompany you. I'll accompany you no matter how much you write. The two of them bantered for a while before Zhuayu went to take a shower. While he was taking a shower, he was still thinking about whether Chu Xiang was cute or not. He felt that Chu Xiang was quite strong. She was especially insightful about the plagiarism incident. He didn't give any suggestions to Chu Xiong back then because he felt that Chu Xiong would like to handle it herself. Thinking about it this way, it seemed that he didn't understand Chu Xiong. Previously, he thought that Liang Jun's act of sending out the color palette and investigating Xia Wushuang's IP address would make Chu Xiong feel disgusted. After all, this was considered as casually interfering in her business. He didn't expect that Chu Xiong didn't mind at all after the incident. Maybe it was because this kind of thing wasn't worth mentioning in Chu Xiong's eyes. It didn't matter as long as it didn't touch any bottom line. The feeling of someone whom he knew first becoming good friends with his brother was quite subtle. It wasn't comfortable or uncomfortable, but it was a subtle feeling. Zhuyu shook his head and threw these thoughts away. What he should be having a headache now was how to get his family to stop urging him to get married. Grandma Zhua didn't keep an eye on Zhuyu all the time. At least after Zhuyu stopped going out with Lu Yao because he was busy, Grandma Zhua didn't call to urge him. In this way, Chu Xiong and the others became a three-person school. Liang Jun had just discovered his feelings for Chu Xiong and was about to pursue her passionately. However, he wasn't someone who would abandon his friends for the sake of the opposite sex. Of course, he couldn't abandon his good brother. Therefore, he bought breakfast for the three of them. Since their doors were so close, of course, they ate together. Moreover, the three of them were all authors. If anyone mentioned it, they could start writing. When they were tired, they would go to the gym together to exercise. In this kind of highly overlapping life, of course, they had to eat together. Liang Jun and Zhuyu were both great writers who had been writing for 10 years. Chu Xianglai was a senior in the profession. She could ask them if she had any questions. It was almost like they were teachers and friends. Therefore, the three of them were together for a long time. Except for when Chu Xiong went to learn how to drive and when she took a nap, the three of them basically got along with each other. Zhuyu gradually understood Chu Xiong, but he still didn't find the cute, silly, and other characteristics that Liang Jun mentioned. He only felt that Chu Xiong was very opinionated, had a tough personality, wrote well, and had perseverance when it came to losing weight. She was a great girl in all aspects. During this period, Lu Yao also came to the gym several times. She was keenly aware that Zhuyu isolated her in the friends area and didn't want to come close. After that, she didn't come again. The biggest advantage of the three of them being together was that they had a lot of writing. The readers of Sanrao were wild every time because they would throw out more chapters from time to time, and it was always 10,000 or 20,000 words. Once, Liang Jun posted a screenshot of their chat history. It was a group chat of the three of them. 8:30 gentlemen on the beam. Today, I'll definitely be the first. If you're not convinced, let's fight. Zhuer Buffon, the room is open. Emperor Chu start. 10:00 Emperor Chu. First, the loser will add 20,000 words. Liang Junzi. Crying. I had a stomachache just now, really. Zhuer Buffon. Next round 20,000 words. Liang Junzi, you are willing to accept your loss. Liang Jun's readers' idiotic style didn't change. They laughed and laughed at him under his novel, then thanked Chu Xiong for defeating him and waited for the 20,000 words to come. From then on, the authors and readers knew that the three of them were good friends. When they saw someone suddenly adding more chapters, they would think that this person must have lost in writing. And among the three of them, Chu Xiong was the one who added the least chapters. Usually, she would only write 15,000 words a day and rarely added more chapters. People guessed that she was the king of hand speed and would probably always win. As a result, Liang Jun's and Zhuayu's readers came to thank Chu Xiong. Chu Xiong's readers also encouraged the two of them to work hard and win, so that they could also add more chapters. The three groups of readers interacted and joked with each other. They were as friendly as an alliance. To a certain extent, it brought a lot of popularity to their three novels. This was because, other than the three groups of readers, other people also found it interesting and joined in to learn more about it. Once they learned about it, some people fell into the trap. As a new author, Chu Xiong was undoubtedly the one who benefited the most. The Demon Emperor was updated very quickly and had already exceeded 500,000 words. The continuous popularity and high quality of the novel made it into the top 3 of the gold leaderboard and had never dropped out. Her data gains and update speed were naturally worthy of being on all the gold leaderboards. From the first leaderboard, it was a continuous stream of gold leaderboards. Xia Wushuang was so jealous that he almost vomited blood. Xia Wushuang kept staring at Chu Xiong, trying to find her mistakes and suppress her. She secretly asked her overseas friends to help her post about how Emperor Chu was cozying up to her. She did not know how she had hooked up with the 2 great gods of the male genre. Previously, Gentleman on Beam had expressed his support for Emperor Chu. What ability did such an author have to gain the favor of these great gods? Chu Xiong's results were good, so naturally, there were people who were jealous of her and followed the rhythm to slander her. However, from the occasional screenshots of Gentleman on Beam's chat, it was obvious that Emperor Chu was very domineering. He never spoke nonsense and always won against them. Sometimes his words were like he was giving orders. On the contrary, Gentleman on Beam would sometimes ask her to be merciful. It was obvious that their relationship was really good. Xia Wushuang originally wanted to sow discord between Liang Jun's and Zhuoyu's fans to hate Chu Xiong and tear her apart. In the end, Liang Jun's fans laughed. If this was considered cozying up to someone powerful, then begging Chu Xiong to cozy up to him was fine. They just needed to get rid of Liang Jun so that he could update more. Zhuoyu's fans also expressed that their boss was very cold. For so many years, Gentleman on Beam was his only gay friend. It was not easy for him to have another gay friend, and it was a girl. They must protect their boss well. The fans of the 2 families treated Chu Xiong like one of their own. This made Xia Wushuang very angry. Her own friends had already distanced themselves from her after that incident. How could she not be angry when she saw Chu Xiong being supported by others? What made Xia Wushuang the most angry was that she was well informed. She heard that the copyright owner who wanted to buy her copyright was now interested in Chu Xiong's novel and was trying to find out more about it. That was the contract that she had almost signed. How could she let the contract fall into Chu Xiong's hands? She was going to destroy Chu Xiong in the same way that Chu Xiong had destroyed her contract. Xia Wushuang really could not take this lying down. How much was the copyright fee? How much wealth was the fame, representative works, and connections that came with it? She lost all of this because of Chu Xiong. She could not let Chu Xiong get all of this. While Xia Wushuang was stirring up trouble on the internet, she did not forget to ask people to investigate Chu Xiong's identity in detail in real life. Previously, there were already Wushuang fans who went to the district where Chu Xiong lived before she moved. Xia Wushuang asked people to go over and try. She did not expect that they would not find Chu Xiong, but the Chu family. Moreover, it seemed that the Chu family and Chu Xiong had a huge conflict. Xia Wushuang asked people from the side and found out that Chu Xiong had stopped contacting them. She immediately wrote several articles about her unfilial daughter. Then she asked her foreign friends to post the articles on major forums, accusing Chu Xiong of having a bad character. After making money, she ignored her family and was unfilial to her parents. Chu Wushuang was now a pen name that many people knew. Everyone was very interested in things related to her. Originally, she thought that she would see things about novels and writers again when she opened the post. However, she did not expect to see things about her unfilial parents this time. Chu Xiong had a lot of readers now. Those who liked her questioned the post immediately. Rumors without evidence could not be believed. Those who were jealous of Chu Xiong immediately condemned Chu Xiong. They tried their best to say that Chu Xiong was cold and heartless. How could a person who was not good to her parents be a good person? Xia Wushuang knew that she had no evidence. Her purpose was only to draw out Chu Zhi. Sure enough, Chu Zhi had been watching Chu Xiong's movements. Recently, he had commented a lot on Chu Xiong's articles, scolding Chu Xiong for being ungrateful. However, there were too many comments about Chu Xiong. Not many people saw his comments. Now he found that there were people on the forum who said that Chu Xiong was unfilial and it attracted attention. Although he did not know how this kind of thing was known, He immediately thought of a way to force Chu Xiong to submit. He directly posted on major forums and shouted as her younger brother, "Chu Wushuang, if you don't come home, I will expose all the things that you don't want people to know. Your younger brother." No one believed that he was really Chu Wushuang's younger brother. Some people joked in his post. Most people did not leave any comments at all. His post soon sank. He kept posting and posting. He even said that he was really Chu Wushuang's younger brother. He even swore that if they were not biological siblings, his whole family would die. This time some people finally believed him. They started to wonder if Chu Wushuang's character was really bad. Even his own brother wanted to expose him. If her own brother did not come home, then wouldn't she really be unfilial to her parents? These posts were discovered by Liang Jun when he was updating, because the comment section under his article was full of comments about how his goddess had been exposed. He was now recommending his goddess's demon emperor. His readers had also accepted his fanboy behavior. When they found out that there was a situation, they naturally called him immediately. Liang Jun opened the post and could not help but swear. F***ck, this stupid thing. Water must have entered his brain. He immediately took his laptop and knocked on Chu Xiong's door. Xiong opened the door. Something happened. It was late at night. Chu Xiong had changed into her pajamas and was about to sleep. When she heard the noise, she ran to the door and opened it for him. What happened? Liang Jun showed her the computer screen. Your younger brother stupidly posted about your family on the forum. He threatened you to come home immediately or he would expose you. Now many people are questioning you for being unfilial. Chu Xiong glanced at the screen. That's it. That's not a big deal. Previously, there was a rather famous author who was rumored to be a scumbag. He had to make it sound real. Later on he clarified it, but in the end many people still did not believe him. His book was also affected. A writer's reputation is very important. If there is a mistake in principle, it will definitely affect your popularity and work. Didn't Xia Wushuang fail to sell the copyright because his reputation was ruined? Liang Jun was afraid that she did not understand the importance of the matter, so he hurriedly explained a lot to her. He pushed the door open and was about to enter. Quick, let's discuss a solution. Wait a minute, let me change my clothes first. Chu Xiong pushed him out and immediately closed the door. Liang Jun was almost hit in the nose. He was stunned for a moment before he realized that Chu Xiong was wearing pajamas just now. His face immediately turned red. He really did not notice it. He had never been so close to a girl before. Moreover, he was so focused on helping Chu Xiong solve the problem that he did not notice this at all. Would Chu Xiong think that he was a beast in human clothing? He really was not. Zhuoyu opened the door and asked, "Why are you standing here? What's the matter?" Liang Jun told him everything and said angrily, "That boy and his parents are not good people. They only know how to trick Xiong. They are like dogskin plasters. I don't know how to get rid of them." Zhuoyu was puzzled. Is Chu Xiong's relationship with her family that bad? Is there a misunderstanding? It's not appropriate for you to call her parents that. Be careful in front of her later. Liang Jun rolled his eyes. What? Alright, you don't know. I've met her parents and her brother. The three of them are all top-notch. They want Xiong's money and have to make Xiong listen to them. Wait a minute. You've met them. How did you meet them? Zhuoyu looked at him in disbelief. Suddenly, he felt that there was a wall between him and them and that the distance between them had increased. He actually did not know that Liang Jun and Chu Xiong were so close that they had met each other before. When did this happen? Chu Xiong called them in after changing her clothes. She took Liang Jun's laptop and read the post seriously. Liang Jun explained to Zhuoyu, "I've only met Xiong's family once. I was afraid that they would bully Xiong, so I went to protect her. Fortunately, I went. They were really shameless. To say, I'm sure you don't understand why your family treats you so well. Joyeux nodded and said, "You can only understand this kind of thing after experiencing it for yourself. Chu Xiang, if you need any help, just let us know. The two of us will definitely help you." Chu Xiang flipped through the post and said, "There's no need. It's not good for you guys to talk about this kind of thing. Since he posted this matter online, if we don't resolve it now, he will continue to pester us in the future. We might as well resolve it online so that he can't expose anything." Joyeux subconsciously frowned. Is that appropriate? After all, it's a family matter. If it goes online, it will become a matter that anyone can find out about and understand. You will never be able to get rid of it. It's better not to respond. After resolving it privately, the netizens will naturally forget about this matter. Even if someone brings it up in the future, they won't be able to refute it. Liang Jun shook his head and disagreed. Those people in her family have a different way of thinking compared to us normal people. If they can't achieve their goal, I think they will probably post Chu Xiang's photos, private information, and whatever they can find in her house online. They will even fabricate lies to annoy Xiang. When that happens, think about it. How foul will the topic about Xiang be? Moreover, an author has to have a good image. If these pornographic things are posted, it will destroy the author's sense of mystery. Might even cause some trouble. Xiang's anti-fans will definitely increase, and there will be more topics to attack her in the future. Liang Jun stood up and paced around the sofa. He crossed his arms and frowned as he pondered. What should we do? Xiang, why don't you secretly change your author's name and start a new account? Don't tell anyone. Then your family and the netizens won't be able to find you, and they won't be able to attack you. You can use this new pen name to write properly. How about it? Doesn't it save a lot of trouble? King Chu can be King Chu's last book, and then you can use a new pen name. After reading the post and everyone's doubts, Chu Xiang had already taken out her tablet to draft a response to Weibo. She casually replied, "That's a good idea, but why should I avoid it? Reputation isn't important. I'm only writing because I like to write. As long as my interest is still there, I will continue to write. If one day I'm not interested in this, then I won't write anymore. It has nothing to do with any other factors." The two of them understood. She didn't care at all whether the netizens slandered her, whether the book did well, or whether she could become a famous author. Therefore, no matter what the Chu family exposed, it wouldn't hurt her. It would only cause public opinion on the internet or affect her income and reputation. She didn't care about any of that, so what was there to be afraid of? Liang Jun laughed out loud. He sat beside Chu Xiang and looked at her excitedly. "You're indeed my goddess. Your way of thinking is different from the rest. I support you. Fight with that guy to the end. Let's see what he can expose. I'll be with you regardless of the wind or rain." Chu Xiang smiled. "Why are you suddenly shouting slogans? You're making it sound like you're supporting me. You're my goddess. Shouldn't I be supporting you?" Liang Jun moved closer to her to see what she was writing. Chu Xiang rubbed her arms and complained, "Don't be mushy. You're calling me a goddess even when I'm like this. You're really hardcore." Liang Jun couldn't take it when he heard that. "Hey, why are you saying that to yourself? Do you think you're fat again? Aren't you a lot thinner now?" "You're a lot thinner than when I first met you. I remember that you weighed 120 pounds yesterday, right? You're not fat at all. You're so beautiful now. Also, I'm not someone who cares about looks. What's wrong with me treating you like a goddess?" Chu Xiang used to be an all-rounder. When her acting skills were off the charts, she was very used to being called Goddess Rao. But now all she did was write. She hadn't shown any of her other skills. Her writing wasn't even as good as Liang Jun's, but Liang Jun insisted on calling her a goddess. It was really super weird. She raised her head and met Liang Jun's gaze. She happened to see the light in Liang Jun's eyes and her. She understood it for a moment. She finally saw Liang Jun's unconcealed feelings. After she understood, she was also a little puzzled. After all, she was someone who looked at faces. She couldn't figure out how Liang Jun could fall in love with her previous appearance. But she didn't do anything after she understood. She lowered her head and continued typing. Whatever you say. I'll post it on Weibo first. Okay, I'll go and see if there's anything to eat. Liang Jun naturally ran to the fridge to prepare some supper. Zhuyu didn't say anything earlier. The feeling of being ostracized came again. He also just realized that Liang Jun treated Chu Xiang very differently. He always thought that Liang Jun had high standards and wasn't enlightened. It turned out that before he knew it, Liang Jun had fallen in love with Chu Xiang. Zhuyu lowered his eyes and drank a mouthful of water. He felt a little confused. During this period of time, he had been urged to get married. When he was alone, he seriously considered this matter. Then, he realized that the person who attracted his attention the most was Chu Xiang. Because Chu Xiang had a lot of good qualities, and the fate between them was very strange. From meeting in the hospital to accidentally becoming neighbors and becoming authors, step by step, it all happened naturally. There was no reluctance at all. During this period of time, he understood that Chu Xiang was very strong and independent. She had her own unique views on many things. The more he spent time with Chu Xiang, the more he felt the charm of Chu Xiang. Moreover, Chu Xiang's weight loss was really successful. From 140 pounds to 120 pounds, it was as if she had become a different person. She was really beautiful when she lost weight. The only thing that made him hesitate was that he had to consider his family. Previously, his grandmother seemed to like Chu Xiang very much, but she felt that writing wasn't a proper job. He saw that Chu Xiang was a very difficult person to compromise. He felt that she might not be compatible with his family, so he didn't let himself go further. He just stayed where he was and hesitated. What he didn't expect was that Liang Jun also liked Chu Xiang. And when he didn't know, a lot of things had happened between them. Liang Jun knew Chu Xiang better than he did. It was rare for him to feel a little annoyed. Of course, he should give in to the person his brother liked. However, Chu Xiang was really the girl who attracted him the most in the past 2 years. Should he just give in and not fight for it? He took a deep breath, raised his head and asked Chu Xiang, "How is it? Are you done writing? Do you need me to give you some advice?" Chu Xiang had already finished writing. She handed the tablet to him. "Okay, help me see if there's anything wrong." Zhuyu couldn't help but laugh. "You're really calm. Back then, when Xia Wushuang's incident happened, you were especially calm. At that time, I misunderstood that you were sent to the hospital because of the netizens. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't be as good as you. It's because of my personality. It doesn't matter if I don't care." Chu Xiang smiled and turned on the television. She didn't even care when she was criticized by the entire internet in the past. Why would she care about this? No matter how this matter was handled, there were pros and cons. Most people would definitely choose to deal with it in a low-key way or compromise slightly to not make a big deal out of it. However, for Chu Xianglai this was nothing. She had a lot of ability to make money. No matter what the outcome of this matter was, it wouldn't affect her quality of life or her interest in writing. Naturally, she couldn't let herself be sullen. If she changed her pen name again, there wouldn't be a wall that didn't have a crack if she continued writing in the future. If she signed the contract with her ID card, someone would definitely know that her new pen name was the same as Chu Zhuang's. Xia Wushuang still had a grudge against her. In the future, she would still meet other competitors or people who were jealous of her. This kind of secret that could be exposed didn't have any practical significance. She also had to solve the problem with the Chu family in private and ignore the posts online. She didn't want to deal with the 3 idiots in the Chu family anymore. With their insatiable and self-righteous way of thinking, she would never be able to come to an agreement with them. She would rather go tit-for-tat with them on the internet than have anything to do with them. As for going tit-for-tat with them, since Chu Zhe thought of this method, it would happen sooner or later. It was unavoidable. The good result was that everyone would stand on her side. The bad result was nothing more than moral blackmail. This might be a big deal for ordinary people, but it didn't matter to her. No matter what it was, it wouldn't affect her. Therefore, this seemingly self-destructive method was the most suitable for her. After Joyeux read her Weibo post, he hesitated and said, "Isn't your tone a little too harsh? Do you plan to stop interacting with your family in the future? I'm sorry, I don't know your family. I'm not helping them. I'm just afraid that you won't be able to turn things around in a moment of impulse. You might even be scolded by the netizens." Chu Xiong smiled and said, "I don't plan to see them again, so the harsher I am the better. Sometimes, being ambiguous makes it easier to get scolded. When your attitude is clear, you will always receive support from people who think the same way. Let's just post it like this." Chapter 105. In Chu Xiong's long Weibo post, she briefly described the unfair treatment that the previous host had received. She pointed out the Chu couple's patriarchal nature, and how her little brother treated the previous host like a servant. Then Chu Xiong attached the electronic records of the previous host giving them money, as well as the expensive things that the previous host had bought for her little brother over the years. She also included the activities that the previous host had helped her little brother sign up for and how much she had paid. From these records, it could be clearly seen that the previous host had been giving money to her family, filial piety, and raising her little brother ever since she went to university. And this money was all from the previous host's work and scholarships. After the previous host graduated and started working, she gave even more money to her family. Comparing the previous host's salary with the money she gave to her family, the expenses were more than half of her income. The rest had to be raised in the capital, and she couldn't live a good life. Who could say that she wasn't filial? Did the person who accused her give her family this much money? Then the previous host was wronged by Xia Wushuang and was criticized by the Wushuang fans. Chu Xiong posted a screenshot of the chat that Chu Zhe had sent to the previous host. His words were filled with ridicule. She had written that she had plagiarized. It was really shameful for her family. Under the screenshot was a notice of critical illness. The previous host had a heart attack and was sent to the hospital. It took a long time to save her life. Chu Xiong described how she had decided to live for herself from then on. She didn't want to be a slave that was blindly filial and didn't want to help her little brother. She wanted to be a proper person. So she had ignored her parents' objections and hired a caregiver to take care of her. She had been exposed and insulted by the Wushuang fans. She had called the police and dealt with it herself. Then she had moved to a more expensive and safer place. Because of this, she had been scolded by her family. After that, her family didn't care about her being exposed. Instead, they asked her to pay for the best summer camp for her little brother. After she had refused, they had scolded her and she had blocked them. Following that, her plagiarism case was cleared. Her new novel, The Demon Emperor, made it onto the gold roll. They found her again and asked her how much money she had made by making it onto the gold roll. They asked her to move back home and hand over the money to her parents. Then, she would comply with the blind dates arranged by her family and find a suitable man to marry. This man had to have a house and a car in the capital and be able to pay at least 1 million yuan as a betrothal gift. In other words, he had to sell the grown-up Chu Xiong for a good price. This was the final destination of a daughter in a patriarchal family. If she was unlucky, she might have to continue to support her family after marriage. Chu Xiong wrote that she firmly opposed it at that time and expressed her attitude that she would no longer care about her younger brother. In the future, she would give her parents 2,000 yuan every month, but there was no need for them to meet. Because they simply could not come to an agreement, they would never be able to get along peacefully. The monthly transfer of money was her bottom line. The law said that there was no way to sever the parent-child relationship, but there was also no way for the law to require her to meet her parents and younger brother. The money she gave was above the capital's standard of living. In the future, if they were disabled or sick, she would hire a caregiver. No law could say that she was wrong. Chu Xiang also attached the electronic proof that she had earned money for her family in the past 2 months. Fong Ping did not give her a card number, so she had transferred all the money to Fong Ping's card. She had never owed anyone anything. This was her very clear attitude. At the end she wrote, "I don't accept moral blackmail. The alimony of 2,000 yuan per month has already exceeded the standard amount. If the price of goods skyrocket in the future, the alimony will also increase. I have relied on myself to get to where I am today. I will never be enslaved by others. This is why I would rather shed all pretense of cordiality than compromise. This is my only response to this matter. I hope that everyone will take my experience as a warning. No matter men or women, old or young, do not kneel down to live." Liang Jun immediately reposted her Weibo. "Support the goddess. Thank you for that narrow escape from death. It turned a submissive girl into the goddess of today." Wu was a step slower. After deliberating over his words, he also reposted Chu Xiang's Weibo. "Support Chu Huang. Chu Huang is a special girl. I hope that everyone will seriously understand the truth. Don't be manipulated by people with ulterior motives and hurt innocent people." The main character responded. The two super writers publicly expressed their support. This matter immediately became popular. Xia Wushuang hired the Internet Water Army and personally wrote 10 articles condemning Chu Xiang for being unfilial. He asked the Internet Water Army to post and denounce Chu Xiang. There was a saying that went, "There are no parents in the world, but brothers are the rarest in the world." The Internet Water Army seized on this point and accused Chu Xiang of being calculative over such a small amount of money. She did not acknowledge her parents and younger brother. She was simply shameless. Chu Xiang's parents gave her life and raised her from a child to an adult. She had just made some achievements and yet she treated her family like this. Her nature was simply that of a money worshipper. This kind of matter was really too simple. Usually, when a woman did not get married or have children, moral chivalrous people would say that she was holding back her boyfriend and letting down her boyfriend's elders. Now that it involved not acknowledging her parents, even if she was given 2,000 yuan a month, in the eyes of moral chivalrous people, she was still unforgivable. It was equivalent to an ungrateful ingrate. These people would never understand that others had the right to do whatever they wanted. If it was not illegal, it was not their place to criticize. They would only go crazy in the comment section of this kind of matter. Like mad dogs, they would criticize Chu Xiang for doing wrong. They would not let Chu Xiang go. It was as if they had to force Chu Xiang to publicly admit her mistakes and kowtow to her parents before they would stop. Liang Jun scrolled through the comments for a while and was furious. What kind of stupid things are these? He immediately opened his main account and quickly replied to a long list of hot comments. Wu disagreed. This kind of thing is not logical. The more you argue with them, the more they will be motivated. Liang Jun did not even raise his head as he typed on his phone. So what? They can lead the discussion, so can I. Someone has to show the other side of the argument. The ordinary netizens have been drowned out. Isn't it good that I'm here? Everyone can see it. Indeed, the large number of comments from the Internet Water Army drowned out the netizens with normal values. There was only one comment supporting Chu Xiang out of more than 20. The moment Liang Junzi, a big V account, appeared, it was different. Moreover, he was replying to the previous hot comments. Everyone could see his comments as soon as they entered. None of his replies were repeated, but his attitude was clear. Moral coercion did not work here, and he could refute whatever they said. Zhuayu looked at Chu Xiang and saw that Chu Xiang's eyes were almost closed. She was used to sleeping at 10 o'clock. Today, she had been delayed for more than an hour and was sleepy. He was about to speak when Liang Jun looked up and saw Chu Xiang. He immediately threw his phone away and turned off the TV. He pulled Chu Xiang up. Go and rest. I'm here to ask you how you plan to solve this. You've already posted on Weibo. Leave the rest to me. I'm sure it'll be fine. Chu Xiang rubbed her eyes. Okay, then help me clean up. Liang Jun came to her house almost every day to cook and clean with her. He knew where things were better than she did. She did not even think about it and left the house to him. She went back to her bedroom in a daze. Liang Jun lightened his hands, rolled up his sleeves and said to Zhuayu, "What are you waiting for? You're so insensible. Hurry up and help me. Put these 2 plates in the fridge. There's plastic wrap on the shelf on the right side of the fridge. Wrap it up and put it in the 3rd drawer of the fridge." Liang Jun instructed Zhuayu to put the supper in while he cleaned up the kitchen. He wiped the coffee table and the floor, and quickly tidied up the pillows on the sofa. Zhuayu saw all of this. If he wasn't jealous, then he would be lying to her. He started to doubt himself. Was it wrong for him to behave like a gentleman? It seemed that Liang Jun could integrate into Chu Xiang's life better than he could. Although this house belonged to Chu Xiang, Liang Jun's traces were everywhere. Even the paper on the table was bought by Liang Jun. Didn't Chu Xiang think that Liang Jun was being rude? Liang Jun walked up to him with his laptop. He waved his hand and asked in a low voice, "Why are you in a daze? Let's go." Zhuayu nodded and left Chu Xiang's house with him. They turned off the lights and locked the door. As soon as Liang Jun got home, he curled up on the sofa and attacked the hot comments. Zhuayu was at a loss for the first time. He couldn't bring himself to attack people. Other than posting a supportive Weibo post, he couldn't find a way to help Chu Xiang. He read a lot of comments carefully and muttered, "Maybe there's really an internet water army slandering Chu Xiang. Could it be her family?" Liang Jun shook his head. "I don't think they have the brains to do that. It's more like a premeditated plan to ruin Xiang's reputation. What's the benefit of the Chu family to ruin her reputation? She can't earn money. She won't even give them 2,000 yuan a month. Of course they might be angry and impulsive, but it's not premeditated. At most, they'll scold Xiang online. I've asked a few friends to help me find out who's targeting Xiang. There should be results soon." Zhuayu was stunned. "When did you find these friends?" "Just now when I was making supper." Liang Jun didn't have the smile on his face that he had in front of Chu Xiang. He looked a little cold and serious. Zhuayu had known Liang Jun for 10 years, but he had never seen this side of him. Liang Jun had always been optimistic and cheerful. He loved to gossip, complain and joke. His world was very simple. He had almost never encountered anything serious. It was as if nothing was a big deal to him. It was only now that Zhuayu realized that it wasn't that Liang Jun didn't get angry. He would get angry because others scolded Chu Xiang. Moreover, he owed countless favors and asked his friends to help him solve Chu Xiang's problem as quickly as possible. Compared to his helplessness just now, Zhuayu felt that he was inferior to Liang Jun for the first time. He stood up and patted Liang Jun's shoulder. "I'll go lie down. Call me if you need anything." Liang Jun nodded, and Zhuayu went back to the bedroom. He was afraid that he would expose himself in front of Liang Jun. His mind was in a mess, and he didn't know what he was thinking. He just unconsciously turned on the tablet and paid attention to the situation online. Liang Jun had countless fans, and their personalities were very similar to his. When they saw him scolding people, they all laughed and joined in the fun. They used a teasing tone to ridicule those paid posters. Some people even found traces of the paid posters and raised doubts. Someone wanted to tarnish Chu Huang's reputation and deliberately set the pace. Chu Xiang's fans were all new fans. They weren't loyal fans who would fight for her. Occasionally, there would be some who spoke up for her, but they didn't have any direction and just kept to themselves. Now that they saw Liang Jun's reasonable rebuttal, they seemed to have found their backbone. Just like fans who found their fan leader, they followed Liang Jun's footsteps and began to speak up for Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang's post began to have fans calling for her. Recently, her updates were very popular with readers. A large number of readers joined in the battle and spoke up for Chu Xiang. They didn't need to think about their own comments. They directly copied Liang Jun's post and pasted it. Chu Zhe's reaction was much slower than Xiao Wushuang's. When he saw Chu Xiang's Weibo, he only felt unusually angry. He could only think of arguing with Chu Xiang and didn't know how to deal with it. But before he could think, he realized that many people were scolding Chu Xiang. This made him very happy. "Dad, Mom, come and see. That ingrate Chu Xiang has been scolded by the netizens. See how many people are speaking up for us." Chu Zhe said excitedly. "Chu Xiang still has the nerve to say that you guys favor boys over girls and show off how much money she gives to the family. This time, let's let her see how others scold her. The eyes of the masses are bright. Let's see if she still dares to cause trouble in the future." Chu Guowei and Feng Ping looked at each other and laughed. "This wretched girl. We should let her know what's good for her. What kind of people are these? They're quite right. Our family raised that wretched girl. Shouldn't she be earning money for the family? If she wants to leave, then let her leave. Let these people be the judge." Chu Zhe laughed and said, "Mom, call her again and tell her that if she comes home obediently, we'll forgive her. If we forgive her, others will naturally stop scolding her." Feng Ping's face darkened when she heard this. "Don't mention it. That account is now dead. That wretched girl wants to cut off all ties with us. She's really giving me 2,000 on the first of every month. This is the capital. What can 2,000 a month do? It's not even enough to eat." Chu Guowei carefully read Chu Xiang's long Weibo post and frowned. "What does this mean? She's giving you 2,000 a month and that's too much. How is that possible?" Chu Zhe pursed his lips. "I just checked. Alimony isn't as much as you want." Some courts only award alimony of 300 to 500 a month when they sue their children. That's very low. Chu Xiang's giving you 2,000 is based on the average income in the capital. She's just giving you a little more," Feng Ping said in surprise. "Then, even if I go to court, I won't be able to punish her. Now that she's giving you money every month, no one will accept you even if you want to sue her. She's already fulfilled her obligation to support you." Chu Zhe looked at their ugly expressions and said impatiently, "What's the point of thinking about this? Now that she's being scolded so badly, she won't be able to take it sooner or later. By the way, doesn't she have heart disease? She won't be able to take it, right? Maybe the hospital will call us tomorrow and we'll take her home directly. Even if her illness doesn't act up, she won't be able to take it. Don't worry. She'll definitely come back and apologize to us." The Chu family put their hearts at ease and slept peacefully that night. They couldn't tell that there was a water army behind it, and they couldn't guess that someone wanted to deal with Chu Xiang. In their opinion, this matter was already settled. Sooner or later, Chu Xiang wouldn't be able to withstand the pressure of public opinion and would come back to apologize. They just had to wait. That night, Chu Xiang was probably the only one who slept peacefully like them. Chu Xiang really did fall asleep after leaving the living room to Liang Jun. Perhaps it was because Liang Jun knew much more about online literature than she did. Every time she encountered a problem, he could solve it perfectly and was very reliable. After Liang Jun asked her to rest, she didn't think about this matter anymore and fell asleep happily. Liang Jun, on the other hand, was much busier. He went to the orphanage very early and relied on himself to reach a height that many people couldn't reach today. This process couldn't be overcome by optimism and cheerfulness. He had experienced many dark things and knew people from all walks of life. After he asked a few friends for help, it didn't take long for him to confirm that there was a water army behind Chu Xiang's name. The transaction and contact were all overseas. Hua Zi checked but couldn't find anything for the time being. They had to wait for the person overseas to make a move again. Liang Jun promised them a lot of benefits and asked them to stay up all night to deal with Chu Xiang's reputation crisis with him. Hua Zi figured out that something was wrong and asked him directly, "Are you interested in Emperor Chu? I've never seen you so concerned about anything." Liang Jun laughed and said, "Of course. So you have to help me settle it. I promised my goddess that nothing would happen." Haha, don't worry. I'll definitely catch the person for you. Besides, you already have a suspect. The scope is too wide. We'll definitely catch the person. Just wait and see. Hua Zi agreed immediately. His friend was chasing after someone, so he couldn't screw up on such an important matter. Liang Jun bought another group of water army. It was only fair to water army, right? He asked the water army to talk about the tragedies caused by foolish filial piety from ancient times to the present. They also talked about the tragic end of supporting younger brothers, the dangers of favoring boys over girls, and so on. He didn't make these up. They were all news that could be found. Do Ying, who was forced to jump off a building. The dangers of this kind of thing couldn't be erased by a keyboard warrior saying, "Everyone's parents are like that, and the rarest person in the world is like a brother." No matter what, it was more convincing and easier for people to agree with him than those empty comments about Chu Xiong being filial. When the water army on both sides were evenly matched, the real passers-by and fans were revealed. They started to really discuss the right and wrong of this matter and expressed their support and disapproval. As more and more people participated, Chu Xiong's matter became a hot search. It became more and more popular, and its ranking on the hot search list continued to rise. The times were constantly improving, and the social status of women was also rising. More and more people started to recognize women's abilities and started to fight against unfair treatment. Favoring boys over girls was something that most women couldn't accept. Even many men didn't like this kind of thing. Naturally, they wouldn't agree with the actions of the Chu family's parents. Supporting younger brothers was a very sensitive and annoying social phenomenon. It was especially so for the previous batch of people who disliked the fact that their first child was a daughter and gave birth to a son for the second time. When their children grew up, most of the parents couldn't take care of their younger sons. Naturally, this pressure was transferred to their older daughters. Girls usually entered society and faced the pressure of employment and life. They had to take care of their younger brothers. It was fine if they were willing, but it was too painful if they were forced. Furthermore, when girls finally earned money, they would be asked by their parents to pay a down payment for their younger brothers to buy a house. These unfair things happened all over the country. Chu Xiong's matter was equivalent to directly exploding this topic. On the hot search list, countless girls commented on their own experiences and expressed their support for Chu Xiong. There were also those who didn't have the courage to resist and hoped that Chu Xiong would succeed. Of course, there were still many moral emperors who didn't feel the pain. Chu Xiong was unfilial. Chu Xiong had earned so much money on the Jinjiang gold roll. What was wrong with giving some money to her family? This kind of behavior of only giving 2,000 yuan and refusing to meet them was a kind of resentment. It was wrong to treat one's family like this. When the sun rose, the water army's role was almost completed. On one hand, they raised all kinds of opinions about Chu Xiong being unfilial. On the other hand, they raised all kinds of opinions about how she shouldn't be blindly filial and shouldn't be supporting younger brothers. Once both viewpoints were firmly established, there was no way to argue about anything new. Thus, the water army from both sides withdrew. When the sun rose, many people woke up. More and more people noticed this hot search list and joined in the debate and quarrel to express their own views. At this point, this matter had become a purely social debate. Many people's comments were based on their own thoughts and had nothing to do with Chu Xiong. Unknowingly, they weakened Chu Xiong's existence. Xia Wushuang stayed up all night, but in the end, this was the result. She was so angry that she almost smashed her antelope's head. She asked her friend to question the water army and ask them what was going on. They had the upper hand, so why did they lose it after one night? As soon as the foreign friend contacted the water army, Hua Zi's side immediately tracked it down. She then checked the movements of the suspect, Xia Wushuang, and quickly found the connection between Xia Wushuang and her foreign friend. It was really confirmed that the water army was hired by Xia Wushuang. Hua Zi immediately informed Liang Jun of this result. Liang Jun knew what was going on and felt more confident. This matter needed some time to ferment. Liang Jun carefully checked the direction of the public opinion about this matter on all the major forums. After confirming that there were no problems, he felt relieved. He stretched, changed his clothes and went out. When Chu Xiang woke up, Liang Jun had already bought breakfast for her. "Good morning. Did you sleep well last night? You're not unhappy, are you?" Liang Jun smiled as he walked in. His eyes followed Chu Xiang as she walked, and there was a hint of worry in his voice. Chu Xiang helped him set the breakfast and shook her head. "No, I slept very well." She raised her head and glanced at Liang Jun. "You didn't sleep at all last night? Then go and catch up on your sleep after breakfast." Fine. I'll sleep when I'm sleepy." Liang Jun told Chu Xiang what he did the whole night and the current situation. After all, this was Chu Xiang's matter. He was only assisting from the side and couldn't make decisions for Chu Xiang. At most he could only help. Chu Xiang casually browsed through Weibo and praised, "Beautifully done. I knew it wouldn't be a problem to leave it to you." Liang Jun smiled when he heard this. He couldn't help but feel happy. "You trust me that much?" "Of course." Chu Xiang scooped a bowl of porridge and handed it to him. She rested her chin on her hand and smiled at him. "Eat, great hero. You've helped me once again." The porridge given by the goddess is especially fragrant. Liang Jun ate the porridge happily. He felt comfortable and refreshed all over. Receiving a compliment from his sweetheart made the whole night's hard work worth it. Zhuayu also didn't sleep the whole night, but he didn't join in the fun today. He witnessed with his own eyes how Liang Jun had protected Chu Xiang step by step. It was also the first time he knew how wide Liang Jun's circle of friends was. Although he had a lot of friends, most of them overlapped with his circle of friends. There was no good way to solve this problem. This made him feel powerless. He felt that he had lost the competition before it even started. He knew that Liang Jun had gone to find Chu Xiang. He could imagine the scene of the two of them laughing and having a tacit understanding. He lay on the bed and didn't move. He didn't want to do anything else. At this time, anything he did would be superfluous. Chu Xiang and Liang Jun continued to update in spelling. Liang Jun added 10,000 words more. This made the fans who were used to their spelling realize that Chu Xiang's mood wasn't affected. She was still an undefeated general in spelling. She let the loser talk about Liang Jun add more chapters. The readers who were worried that Chu Xiang would stop updating because of this matter were all relieved. After being relieved, they felt their hearts ache. If it were any of them, would they be able to stand being scolded like this on the internet? Not only did Chu Xiang come out to respond, but she also updated as usual without any delay. She still maintained the quality and quantity. What kind of deity was this? Most of the fans and readers stopped discussing the issue of filial piety. Instead, they happily praised Chu Xiang's update and discussed the plot of the latest chapter. Liang Jun's fans came to Chu Xiang's Weibo to beg her to torture Liang Jun again, and let Liang Jun add another chapter. There were also Zhuayu's fans who came to ask Chu Xiang and Liang Jun to torture Zhuayu together. They wanted to see Zhuayu add more chapters. The three fans added together were quite a lot. Once they became active, Chu Xiang's Weibo looked much cleaner. At first glance, it was full of praises and discussions about the plot. The copyright holders who were paying attention to Demon Emperor told the person in charge to pay attention to the direction of this matter and analyze how wide the film adaptation could reach the market. The popularity of the trending searches was huge. Even though everyone was discussing topics such as women's rights and female slaves, which weakened Chu Xiang's image, there were still many passers-by who went to watch Chu Xiang's Demon Emperor. Demon Emperor had another surge of popularity, even more than when it was on the income list of thousands of words. The plot of the book was good and could always be discovered. Chu Xiang didn't have any marketing, but first, it was on the trending searches because of the plagiarism incident. Now, it was on the trending searches again because of the filial piety incident. How many books could receive such treatment? With this popularity, it attracted a lot of readers. A good book directly retained most of the readers and turned into a real profit. This matter fermented on the trending searches for a while. Demon Emperor successfully took the first place of the Jinjiang Gold List. The beautiful cover was displayed at the top left corner of the bookstore. It was very eye-catching. This position itself represented a huge amount of traffic. Her back-end income was increasing by a large margin every second. The first place of the gold list was firmly secured. The copyright holders were surprised by this phenomenon. After analyzing the data, the result was that Demon Emperor now had a lot more readers than before. Moreover, the readers were very loyal. They were all true fans who really liked the plot of Demon Emperor. There were also many passers-by who didn't read it. They remembered the name Demon Emperor and the pen name Chu Huang. From another perspective, this proved that Demon Emperor was really attractive. Back then, Xia Wushuang was out of business so quickly. Besides the fact that Xia Wushuang's actions were too flashy, another important reason was that Immortal and Devil wasn't that attractive. When something happened, even the fans of the book would turn against it. After the copyright holders investigated, they found that some readers in the comment section of Demon Emperor didn't care about what happened to Chu Xiang. They only cared about what would happen in the next chapter of Demon Emperor. They only wanted to know how the story would continue. There was only one reason for this group of readers to fight back against Chu Xiang. They were afraid that Chu Xiang would stop updating. This was completely the charm of Demon Emperor itself. It firmly attracted many readers. This in itself proved the value of Demon Emperor. After the filial piety incident fermented on the internet, the side that shouldn't be foolishly filial and can't be a sibling demon was slightly better. The popularity gradually decreased, and the hot search rankings were replaced by more gossip. It seemed that everything was going to return to normal. Apart from the web novel circle, other passers-by might soon forget about this incident even if they had participated in it. Chu Zhe was dumbfounded when he saw this development. He didn't understand why so many people came out to speak for Chu Xiang the night before. The next day, so many people came out to speak for Chu Xiang. He used his own Weibo to denounce Chu Xiang's unfilial behavior and was rebutted by many people. Later, someone went through his Weibo and found out that he was really Chu Zhe's brother from some clues. He immediately posted his Weibo name. Many people knew about him and naturally came to scold his family. Looking at the shoes and figurines he posted on his Weibo, they were all expensive. Compared to Chu Xiang's long Weibo post, he squandered all the hard-earned money that Chu Xiang earned. Even passers-by couldn't stand it and couldn't help condemning his behavior. The Chu family originally wanted to use public opinion to force Chu Xiang to admit his mistake, but they didn't expect that in just one night, the scolding fell on them. Those who denounced Chu Xiang didn't come to support them or speak for them, so no one refuted those who condemned them. All the blame fell on them. Chu Zhe posted a lot of selfies on his Weibo, and there were also classmates and friends who followed each other. Now his identity was directly exposed. He was just a bad student who liked to show off. Many classmates unfollowed him, and someone came out to say that Chu Zhe often bragged that recently his sister wanted to buy him the latest mobile phone and tablet. This matched with Chu Xiang's long Weibo post. Didn't he want Chu Xiang to buy him something because he saw Chu Xiang on the gold list? With Chu Zhe's circumstantial evidence, it unexpectedly proved that Chu Xiang's long Weibo post was true. Liang Jun was the first to discover this matter, so he immediately used his main account to repost it, letting everyone know that Chu Xiang was the innocent one. Then he asked Huazi to help him post on the various major forums. He didn't waste any time. He just posted the evidence that Wushuang had contacted someone overseas and that person had contacted the Internet Water Army to slander Chu Xiang. As for whether or not Xia Wushuang hired the Internet Water Army, the general public had their own judgment. After this post came out, Chu Xiang's ranking on the hot search list rose a few ranks. There was a new melon to eat, and it was connected to the previous incident. Felt like a serial drama. This evidence once again proved Xia Wushuang's shamelessness. Generally, no one would throw out this kind of evidence. Such a solid hammer made the netizens sigh that the internet was really mysterious, and Xia Wushuang was really too vicious. Chu Xiong, who had been weakened before, became clear again. The netizens' focus shifted from women's rights to Chu Xiong. But her image changed from an innocent girl to a girl who was bullied. Many people felt that she was too unlucky. How did she meet such a family member and such a competitor? Netizens flocked to Xia Wushuang's Weibo and Chu Zhi's Weibo to denounce them. They wanted to use the internet to bully Chu Xiong, but they forgot that the internet's public opinion had always been a double-edged sword. Chu Xiong didn't do anything, but their Weibo posts fell, and no one spoke up for them. Xia Wushuang was a little scared. She didn't expect that even though she was so cautious and deliberately went around in circles to ask her overseas friends for help, she would still be found out. Her reputation was already ruined, and this time she couldn't make a comeback. Endless regret filled her heart. She suddenly felt that dealing with Chu Xiong was a very bad decision. Chu Zhi couldn't even compare to her. He was just an ordinary person who hadn't been hit before. Suddenly, he was condemned by so many people and was furious. He argued with others online, but was scolded even more harshly. He was so angry that he flew into a rage at home. "It's all your fault. You can't even control your own daughter. Look at what she's done to me." Fong Ping cried at the side. "What should I do? Even the neighbors know. When I went out to buy groceries today, people pointed fingers at me. How am I going to live? Weren't they scolding Chu Xiong yesterday? Why are they scolding us today? It's Chu Xiong's fault. What right do they have to scold us?" Chu Guowei said impatiently. "Stop crying. Hurry up and think of a solution. What's the use of crying?" Fong Ping wiped away her tears and comforted her son. "It's okay. It's okay. They just said a few words online. They'll forget after a while. We should go to school. It won't affect us. Son, don't be afraid. It'll be okay." Chu Zhi pushed her away. "You're too nice. My classmates and friends all know. I won't be able to raise my head in the future." Fong Ping lost her balance and was pushed to the ground. She screamed and widened her eyes in disbelief. Why did you push Mom? I didn't do it on purpose. Why are you so annoying?" Chu Zhi snorted and ran out with his phone. He was annoyed when he saw his parents. If they weren't so stupid and didn't know how to coax Chu Xiong, would things have turned out this way? Chu Zhi ran to the nearby activity area. He wanted to find a shady place to go online, but he didn't expect to see a few classmates playing basketball. He adjusted his expression and ran over to greet them. "Why are you here? Bring me along." When the classmates saw him, their expressions became a little strange. A boy said, "You want to play with us? Forget it. You even want to harm your own sister. You won't be able to play with us." Chu Zhi's face darkened. "What do you mean? When did I harm my sister? Oh, you still won't admit it. How did you scold your sister on the internet? You're really stupid. She's such a good sister. If you treat her well, she'll treat you well. Why are you talking to him so much? He treats his sister like a slave. He doesn't have the same values as us. Let's not go together. Let's go. Go, go, go. Why are we standing with him? If others see us, they'll think we're the same as him." The few of them ran away with the basketball. Chu Zhi wanted to vent but had nowhere to. He was so angry that he punched the basketball hoop. In a single night, his life had changed. He no longer had any way to deal with Chu Xiong, but his life was now filled with countless troubles. Back then, he had rejoiced in Chu Xiong's misfortune, feeling that she deserved to be scolded. Now, all the malice had landed on him, and he had no solution at all. He could only endure and experience this torment. Chapter 106. The discussion about Chu Xiong's incident on the internet gradually decreased, and her trending search also dropped. The netizens had a new focus and dispersed. Only a large number of readers who were interested in Demon Emperor stayed and became Chu Xiong's followers. Most of the netizens had started to blame Xiao Wushuang and the Chu family. Only a few moral emperors kept blaming Chu Xiong for not acknowledging her family. But this didn't have any real impact on Chu Xiong. The Chu family was in a terrible fix and couldn't do anything to Chu Xiong. Naturally, these people left after scolding. They weren't readers, so they wouldn't make the Demon Emperor negative. The real readers liked the Demon Emperor, and pushed the Demon Emperor collection to 180,000. Chu Xiong got out of this incident unscathed and gained a lot of popularity for Demon Emperor. The copyright owner confirmed that Chu Xiong's reputation wasn't affected much, and she was likely to win the love and support of most women. The popularity of Demon Emperor was also very satisfactory, so they immediately contacted Jin Jiang to discuss the film and television copyright. Other copyright owners also contacted Jin Jiang to discuss the simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, audiobooks and games of Demon Emperor. The copyright editor contacted Chu Xiong immediately and sent her the offers, congratulating her happily and asking for her opinion. Chu Xiong had studied countless scripts before, so she was very familiar with what kind of plots and characters could be adapted into movies and TV series. The Demon Emperor, she wrote, was naturally very easy to be made into a movie and TV series. But she didn't know the price of the copyright, so she could only ask Liang Jun to give her some advice. Liang Jun was even happier than she was when he saw the offers. Xiong, you're selling the copyright for your second book. I'll ask someone about the current price. There was a big difference between male and female novels. Liang Jun wasn't sure how much the copyright fee for the female novel was, but he knew a lot of people, so he immediately contacted several people to estimate a suitable price for Chu Xiong. Chu Emperor is very popular now, but you're a newcomer in this field. Without the past data, the price can't be raised. The movie rights for this article are priced at 6 million. I think we can negotiate for 8 million at most. That's because it's currently very popular. It's even been on the hot search list twice. It's enough to be talked about, and the fan base isn't bad either. These are all data. We can fight for it. Liang Jun analyzed the situation for her seriously and said, "You can ask Jin Jiang to help you apply for the qualifications of a screenwriter. Once you become a screenwriter, you'll be entering another industry. There will be a lot of opportunities." Chu Xiong had met many scriptwriters, so she knew a little about their daily lives. She nodded and said, "I'll try my best to fight for it with the editor. But I'm not in a hurry. After all, this is only my second essay. I still want to write many more." "That's right. I don't really like being a screenwriter. I just like to stay at home and write whatever I want. It's all up to me. Think about it yourself. There are several other copyright fees that I have sent to you. Take a look." Liang Jun made a form and sent it to Chu Xiong's Penguin account. After reading it, Chu Xiong sent the form to the editor and asked him to help her fight for it. The copyright editor was a different person from her usual editor. However, he had a good personality. After understanding her bottom line, he went to negotiate with all parties. Chu Xiong didn't have to worry about that at all. All she had to do was wait for the news. The negotiation lasted for half a month. Demon Emperor sat firmly at the top of the gold rankings. Chu Xiong's speed of updating made the total word count of Demon Emperor exceed 800,000 words. The plot had progressed to a climax. Every reader was urging her to update like crazy, eager to know what happened next. There were many portraits of Demon Emperor characters on Weibo. They were all drawn by readers who loved Demon Emperor, and were super beautiful. There were also more and more fans of Demon Emperor Mercenary. A casual glance at the spin-off channel would reveal several articles with titles like Demon Emperor's XXX. Demon Emperor became a hot topic, and its popularity rose to another level. Jin Jiang used this as an excuse to raise the price. The film and television rights of Demon Emperor were finally priced at 8.5 million yuan, including the rights of Ling Ying and the television series. For a new author like Chu Xiang, this was definitely a high price. Yes, it was Xia Wushuang's 2 actions that made Demon Emperor a success. Chu Xiang had asked Liang Jun to help her expose a piece of information. With Hua Zi around, no one would be able to find out that she was the one who exposed the news. Why did Xia Wushuang want to hammer Emperor Chu to death time and time again? It turns out that Immortal Demon almost sold its film and television rights. The copyright owner is the same person who is buying Demon Emperor now. Are you going to eat this melon? The title linked the official announcement of the copyright of Demon Emperor to the 2 previous incidents. It had only been half a month, but everyone hadn't forgotten about it. Seeing this title, they naturally wanted to eat this melon. With one look, it was clear. It turned out that Xia Wushuang wanted to sell the copyright and create a wave of hype. He deliberately trampled on other cultivation novels, and Emperor Chu was innocently implicated. In the end, Emperor Chu was invisible. Not only did he not obediently allow himself to be trampled on, but he also skinned Xia Wushuang, causing Xia Wushuang's reputation to be tarnished and a large number of fans lost. As a result, the copyright owner directly gave up on Immortal Demon. How could Xia Wushuang not hate Emperor Chu? In addition, the copyright owner had set his sights on Demon Emperor. Xia Wushuang wasn't willing to let Emperor Chu benefit, so he simply used the Chu family's extreme character to try to ruin Emperor Chu's reputation and destroy the contract. However, the final result didn't go Xia Wushuang's way. The statistics of Demon Emperor exploded, and the copyright was sold at a high price. Meanwhile, Xia Wushuang was exposed again, going for wool and coming home shorn. After everyone finished reading this post, they instantly understood the cause and effect of the entire matter. The people in the circle despised Wushuang one after another, saying that Emperor Chu was a phenomenal case of turning the tables and slapping the face of the person who bullied her, completely nailing him to the pillar of shame. Passers-by also realized that this matter was indeed not a personal grudge. Personal grudges usually wouldn't blow up so much. It turned out that it was related to benefits. No wonder it was on the hot search list 3 times, including this time. It was really an eye-opener. As Emperor Chu didn't have any flaws to dig up, Xia Wushuang's dark past could be dug up quite a bit. With such a comparison, the popularity of Emperor Chu and Demon Emperor rose by another level. This was also considered a method of marketing. Chu Xiang had been in the entertainment circle all her life, and her way of thinking was like that of a CEO who controlled the overall situation. When dealing with problems, every decision was to maximize the benefits. These days she seemed to be clarifying the truth, but in fact she had pushed Demon Emperor to the public step by step. Regardless of whether they watched it or not, everyone knew that Demon Emperor was going to be made into a TV series. This was a marketing success. Without leaving any traces, Chu Xiang made a lot of money. In the official announcement, Chu Xiang updated 50,000 words, thanking all the readers for their support of Demon Emperor. She also restarted Heavenly Immortal and updated 3,000 words. While her readers were cheering, Liang Jun also updated 50,000 words, saying that since his goddess sold the publishing rights, they had to celebrate. He also thanked the readers, thanking them for sticking with him to protect his goddess. Now, many artists had drawn the characters of Demon Emperor. They liked this novel very much, and some also liked the author, Emperor Chu. As Chu Xiang's real-life photos had been exposed by Wushuang fans, some artists even drew her cartoon character. Of course, it was very cute and looked soft and cute. A long time ago, Liang Jun's photos were taken when he attended a signing event, and his cartoon character had long been circulating. This time, Liang Jun and Chu Xiang were updating together. An artist managed to get the sweetness between them and drew 3 cartoon photos of the two of them. One was of Liang Jun staring at the screen. his fingers making afterimages. His head was full of sweat, while Chu Xiong was calmly typing. The dialogue box next to her head said, "You lost 20,000 more chapters." One was of Chu Xiong wearing a crown and standing with her hands behind her back. Liang Jun was kneeling on one knee, looking at her with shining eyes and smiling. The caption read, "Look, my goddess." Another one was of many hands reaching out from the shadows around Chu Xiong. Liang Jun was holding a sword and slashing at the shadows with a serious face. The caption read, "I will protect my goddess. Demons and ghosts, get lost." These were all jokes based on the daily interactions between the two of them, but in fact, they were very close to reality. Their fans could tell the story behind these three pictures. The two of them were really good friends, the kind that had a very close relationship. Some fans had already joked, "This is the best couple. They are so close, they are simply immortal friends. Please form a couple." Some fans thought of Zhuoyu. "Have you forgotten about Zhui Air Buffon by Daming Lake? He used to be Gentleman on the Roof's only verified gay friend. Has he been forgotten somewhere? Hahaha, Zhui Air Buffon. Come and talk to this Liang Jun. How can he abandon you after he has a new partner? The three of them should have a very good relationship. Feels like they are an iron triangle and they are all gods. Indeed, only gods can be best friends with gods." Liang Jun saw the pictures when the three of them were eating together. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up, and his eyes disappeared from his smile. Zhuoyu sat opposite him and wondered, "What are you doing?" Liang Jun coughed lightly and waved his hand. "Nothing, I just saw something fun." He glanced at Chu Xiong and couldn't help but push the phone over to her. Xiong, look, we have CP fans. Isn't it interesting?" Chu Xiong was stunned. She pointed at the chubby cartoon character and asked, "Who is this?" "Me." Liang Jun laughed and said, "Why is your focus different from mine? The focus is on the picture of the two of us, okay? The fans must have drawn it based on the pictures you exposed before. It's actually quite cute." He looked at Chu Xiong's disdainful expression and asked with a smile, "Why don't I post a picture of your back to let everyone know that you have lost weight? How about it? That way they won't draw a cute fat person." Chu Xiong used to be painted by many people when she was a celebrity, so she didn't care about her image being exposed. She nodded and said, "Okay, I won't show my front for the time being." "I haven't lost weight yet." She turned around and asked, "Like this?" "No, I have pictures on my phone." Liang Jun flipped through the photo album and muttered, "Didn't you weigh 115 pounds this morning? You are already very thin." Chu Xiong glanced at his photo album and found that there were many pictures of her in it. As the #1 fan, he was undoubtedly a boyfriend fan. She looked at Liang Jun find a picture of her back and add a beautiful filter. She couldn't help but laugh. "Why are you better at these things than me? What are you playing with?" "Play with everything. As long as it's interesting, I can understand it. Isn't it useful now?" Liang Jun was also deliberately testing her. When he saw Chu Xiong's smile, he was immediately overjoyed. Zhuoyu, who hadn't been able to get a word in, felt depressed. It was another topic that he couldn't participate in. It was another scene of dog abuse. If Chu Xiong didn't like Liang Jun, she would change her face when she saw Liang Jun's photo album and actions, right? Chu Xiong smiled. So she didn't reject Liang Jun's pursuit. Well, they always had so much to talk about when they were together. Liang Jun could always make her laugh. How could she not like Liang Jun? The Weibo notification sounded. Zhuoyu opened his phone and saw Liang Jun's Weibo post. "Gentleman on the Roof V. My goddess is obsessed with looks and fitness. Let me show you what my goddess looks like now." The attached picture was Chu Xiong's back in a dress with a filter. 168 centimeters tall and 115 kilograms. She really didn't look fat, especially her back. The dress outlined her figure very well. One look and one could tell that she was a beauty. As soon as this Weibo post was posted, many Chu Xiong's fans immediately flooded his comment section. Hey, Empress Chu lost weight. How long has it been? She's already so thin. Is it true? It must be true. Gentleman on the roof has no reason to lie. But this filter. Is it an official couple? Ah. Is it true that I hid it? Ah. The gentleman god has seen the portrait I drew. Empress Chu is so beautiful. Don't worry, I'll redraw it right away. This artist drew and soon changed the fat girl in the 3 pictures to a cute beauty. He also drew a picture of Chu Xiang's back and added Liang Jun's appearance of holding his phone and taking pictures. Liang Jun was overjoyed. He leaned against Chu Xiang and said, "Look, he's really an expert. His imagination is quite similar to mine." It's quite similar. Don't secretly take pictures of me in the future. I won't let you. Chu Xiang grabbed a pillow and threw it at him. She got up and turned on the computer. Liang Jun immediately wailed. "No, you're so beautiful. You should take more pictures. I'm planning to learn photography. I'll definitely take beautiful pictures of you. Stop talking nonsense. Let's write. Zhuyu, are you coming?" Chu Xiang opened the writing software and opened a room with familiarity. She sent the room number to the group. Coming. Liang Jun and Zhuyu responded at the same time. They took their own notebooks and joined in. Zhuyu looked up at Liang Jun. Liang Jun was already engrossed in writing. Zhuyu couldn't calm down. His thoughts were in a mess and his writing speed was unusually slow. Liang Jun was puzzled and asked, "Zhuyu, why are you so slow today?" Zhuyu said calmly, "I'm stuck." Getting stuck was a common thing. After all, they had to write high quality and couldn't casually increase the word count. If they weren't in the right state, they might get stuck. Liang Jun and Chu Xiang didn't find it strange. They both calmed down and continued to write. Ever since the 3 of them started writing at least 1 word, the 3 rows were too productive. The main reason was that they weren't bored together. Writing had also become a form of pleasure and even a daily activity for them. Once they got used to it, they didn't feel like they were writing too much. It felt great to see the readers cheering for them every time. However, Zhuyu wasn't in the right state today. In the end, he only managed to write 3,000 words. Seeing this, the 2 of them didn't punish him. They only let him update those 3,000 words before they changed and went to the gym to work out. When Liang Jun went to the store to buy drinks, Zhuyu stopped Chu Xiang and asked in a roundabout way, "There are already CP fans online. Aren't you afraid that the fans will misunderstand that you 2 are a couple?" Chu Xiang replied, "I'm not afraid. If they misunderstand, so be it. It's not like anything will happen." She used to have a lot of CP fans in the entertainment industry. Every time she filmed a movie, new CP fans would appear. She was already used to it and wasn't affected at all. Zhuyu pursed his lips and fell silent for a moment before asking, "What kind of man do you like?" Chu Xiang glanced at him sharply and said, "That's too broad a range. I'm not sure. It's probably just a man who allows me to be free and unrestrained." Zhuyu had a feeling that if he didn't say anything now, it would be too late. Liang Jun's pursuit of Chu Xiang had already paid off. If he missed this opportunity, he might not have another chance. Before Liang Jun came back, he asked directly, "If I hadn't been so polite back then and had taken the initiative to help you, would we have CP fans by now? After all, we met first and even became neighbors and gay friends by accident." Zhuyu had a lot to say, but when he saw Chu Xiang's clear eyes, he didn't say anything. He already knew the answer, but he still wanted to hear Chu Xiang's answer. Chu Xiang didn't like to drag things out. Since he had opened the window, she answered clearly, "No, your grandmother is very kind and dotes on you. She also put in a lot of effort to matchmake you. I won't let us have CP fans and make your future girlfriend jealous. If my family..." There are no ifs. If they weren't like this, you wouldn't be like this now. They left a mark on you every day when you were growing up. They doted on you, and you were filial to them. You're a warm and happy family that many people think is very good. But it doesn't fit in with me. I just want to live a carefree life. My parents want to interfere in my life, but I don't want to see them. Don't you always think that I'm a little too harsh? So you see, we don't see eye to eye. If we get too close, we might quarrel. Just right for us to be friends." Chu Xiang smiled at him and turned to walk into the gym without looking back. Zhuayu stayed where he was and watched her walk away step by step. He didn't chase after her. It was rare for Chu Xiang to talk so much, but she rejected him directly, leaving no room for negotiation. Yes, they didn't see eye to eye because their original families were very different. It was difficult for them to understand each other's actions. That was why he hadn't done anything. It was just that he was still unwilling to accept it. That was why he liked her when the sense of crisis was the strongest. But Chu Xiang saw through it more clearly than he did. She directly pointed out that it was impossible between them. Whether it was eye to eye or elders, there was a huge gap between them. That was the real reason why he was always one step slower than Liang Jun. He had long realized that they weren't suitable for each other. A 30-year-old man was rational enough, but he still felt uncomfortable. It was rare for him to fall in love with someone. It was too difficult for a 30-year-old to fall in love. He hadn't felt that rush of excitement for many years. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep it. That kind of heart-wrenching sourness made him feel uncomfortable. Liang Jun stood in the corner with 3 drinks. He heard everything they said. He silently breathed a sigh of relief and walked toward Zhuayu. "Let's go for a drink." Zhuayu saw his expression, lowered his eyes and turned to leave. Liang Jun was behind him. "I'll send the drinks to Xiang Xiang. Wait for me at the usual place." They didn't need to say anything more. Even if they were going in opposite directions at this moment, they would meet again soon. Liang Jun went into the gym and found Chu Xiang. He handed the drinks to her and looked at her. "I'm going to drink with Zhuayu. I'll be back later." Chu Xiang raised her eyebrows. "Drink? Then aren't you going to be carried back today?" Liang Jun touched his nose embarrassedly. "I'll drink some water. Let him drink alone." He paid attention to Chu Xiang's expression. His voice was a little soft and gentle. "Then I'll go." "Okay, these 3 drinks are mine." Chu Xiang held the drinks and smiled at him. The moment the two of them looked at each other, Liang Jun laughed. He couldn't suppress his happiness. He already understood Chu Xiang's meaning. Chu Xiang knew what he was going to do. Chu Xiang had rejected Zhuayu. Now she obviously didn't reject him. He smiled so widely that his dimples appeared. He waved at Chu Xiang and ran out of the gym. Although it was a little inappropriate for him to be happy when his good brother was sad. He was really grateful to Zhuayu for his failed confession. It allowed him to finally confirm Chu Xiang's feelings. When he reached the restaurant, Liang Jun used all his willpower to control his happy expression. He went into the private room and found Zhuayu. Zhuayu had already drunk 2 glasses of wine. When he saw him come in, he poured himself another glass. "You don't have to drink. I don't want to carry you when I'm drunk." "I definitely won't drink. You can drink whatever you want." Liang Jun obediently unscrewed the cap of a bottle of mineral water and poured it into a glass. He raised his glass and said, "Use water to replace alcohol. Vent all your bad emotions. You're a man. Everything will be fine when you're sober." Zhuayu clinked glasses with him and drank it in one gulp. He smiled bitterly and said, "Easy for you to say. Would you be able to do it if it were you?" Liang Jun was silent for a moment. He said somewhat seriously, "Isn't this destined from the beginning? What can you do?" Zhuayu understood what he meant. The love of an elder was a sweet burden. This was what they used to joke about. However, the burden hidden under the sweetness was indeed there. It was usually not obvious, but when it came to Chu Xiang, it became a mountain that could not be crossed. He could not do anything. This was a dead end. There was no beginning at all. Zhuayu drank another glass of wine and asked, "When did you find out?" A long time ago. Liang Jun played with the glass in his hand. The smile on his face disappeared. He lowered his eyes and said, "It doesn't matter when. I always knew that nothing would change. I still didn't know if I could win Xiang's heart in the end. However, I knew from the beginning that you were Xiang's friend and my brother. This will not change. It turns out that both of you can see it clearer than I can," Zhuyu said self-deprecatingly. "To think that I thought I had hidden it well." Liang Jun shook his head and said, "How can you hide your feelings for someone? He's not the best actor. The onlooker sees more clearly than the person involved. Even if you know the outcome, you can't control yourself. Isn't it just a matter of a moment? The fate between you two is so good that it makes me jealous. However, sometimes a beautiful fate can't become a beautiful ending. If there are too many obstacles, you can only treat fate as a coincidence." Zhuyu leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. He said frankly, "I've thought about nothing. I just want to look at you and wish you the best." "Understand." Liang Jun continued his words. "If it were me, I would definitely let her know my feelings. Even if there is no result, this feeling of liking her is real." The two of them fell silent. Zhuyu drank silently, and Liang Jun drank quietly to accompany him. After 10 years of brotherhood, there were many things that needed not be said. They both understood. For example, what they had said just now was just idle chatter. It did not matter whether it was true or not. Zhuyu finished a bottle of baijiu and sighed. "I don't know what the future will be like." Zhuyu definitely did not complain about the personalities of the elders in his family. Even if he was unwilling to be rejected by his sweetheart, his grandmother and parents were still happy in Zhuayu's heart. They hoped that he would get married and have children by the age of 30. They hoped that his wife would be virtuous and generous, take care of the family, and have a stable job. He had tried to change these deep-rooted beliefs, but he had failed a few years ago. It was not easy to change a person's beliefs and personality, and it was even more impossible for his elders who had lived for most of his life to change. He had long passed the rebellious stage. He cherished his family's kindness. Therefore, when they felt that writing was not stable, he opened a gym that was doing well. He even bought 4 houses to collect rent. He used his own way to make them feel at ease. They would let him go on blind dates, but they would not force him to marry anyone. Therefore, even if he did not like blind dates, he still went to meet friends of the opposite sex. He hoped that they would be happy, and he was willing to do things that would make them happy. His family would probably always be the most important thing to him. At the age of 30, he would no longer be as reckless as he was when he was a teenager. He would no longer be impulsive and do anything just because he had a sweetheart. He could tell that Chu Xiang would not deliberately get a job to appease them because of his family's beliefs. He could also tell that Chu Xiang had a very strong personality. She liked to charge and break through enemy lines instead of taking care of the family business. Therefore, even if he felt that his parents, elders, and Chu Xiang were very good people, he still knew that they would have irreconcilable conflicts. Now that Chu Xiang had rejected him, he was very upset. However, he could only let go of this matter. In the future, he would get married and have children. He would marry a virtuous wife that he liked, and the elders in his family would also like. What would his life be like in the future? That sweet burden made him feel lost about the future. That was not what he wanted the most, but it was what his rationality told him that he should want the most. Liang Jun answered him very seriously. "Your future will be very happy." Fu smiled. "Really?" "Of course. Your family loves each other and is warm and happy. Even if there are shackles in some aspects sometimes, they are insignificant compared to the beauty that you have. That's why you are so willing to be rational. In the future, your family will also have such an atmosphere. You will cherish your wife and children very much and will love and protect them. However, you will definitely not burden your children. You will let them grow up freely. You will be filial to your elders and love your wife for the rest of your life. You will be the best father. Do you think that this kind of life is not happy? Happy? Zhuyu smiled again. Of course it's happy. There were a lot of helplessness in life. For example, some people like to travel around the world. However, if a particularly close elder needed someone to take care of them, could it be that they would abandon their elder and travel around the world? Not many people could do as they pleased. When they gave up on one thing for another, it was only because they were weighing the weight of the two things in their hearts. Then, under the helpless and sweet burden, they became willing to do it. Some paths were destined not to be taken from the beginning, but there were still many paths left. They could still choose the path that they liked the most within a limited range. If he continued to walk like this, he would gradually become more willing. For example, Liang Jun was an orphan. In terms of objective conditions, he had a great advantage in pursuing Chu Xiang. However, Zhua Yu would not envy him for this. He would not think about what it would be like if he was also an orphan and what it would be like if his family did not interfere in his affairs. This was because his family was like this. They were irreplaceable in his heart. Therefore, he could only accept this result willingly and find another way to continue on. This kind of helplessness was a helplessness that could not be changed. He could only accept it. Zhuyu did not say anything else. Instead, he drank glass after glass of beer until he was so drunk that he lost consciousness and did not need to think about anything. Liang Jun accompanied him by his side. In the end, he sighed, paid the bill and helped him back. Everyone had their own path to walk. However, they had been brothers for 10 years, and they would still be brothers in the future. They both knew that this matter would come to an end after today's drinking. Getting drunk and losing consciousness was the only way Zhua Yu could vent his emotions. Liang Jun gave Zhua Yu some hangover soup and settled him down to let him sleep. When he returned to the guest room, he could not fall asleep. He opened Weibo and found that a few artists had drawn Chu Xiang's cartoon characters. They had also drawn portraits of the two of them. They were very cute and very interesting. The corners of his mouth unconsciously curled up. He saved those portraits one by one and saved them in a separate photo album. Then he opened a new email account and began to fill up his diary with emails. He recalled the time when he first met Chu Xiang and recorded his feelings bit by bit. He also wrote down many emotions that he did not express later on. Everything else gradually disappeared from his mind. All that was left were the bits and pieces of him and Chu Xiang. Everything was fresh in his mind. It was as if he was watching a movie, recording every scene. He changed the name of his email account to LoveX. He wrote until he felt sleepy. Then he closed the email account and fell asleep peacefully. Secondly, Chu Xiang and Liang Jun did not act strangely. Zhua Yu also did not act strangely. The three of them got along as usual, as if the confession had never happened. However, Zhua Yu still reduced the time he spent with them because he often had to eat at his parents' house. Since he wanted to walk down the right path, he naturally could not resist anything. In order to be as happy as Liang Jun in the future, he had to take the initiative. He did not want to wait for his family to pull strings for him. Therefore, he spent more time with his friends. Liang Jun especially enjoyed spending time with Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang had just gotten her driver's license and bought a new car. She needed to sharpen it. He looked for travel guides and asked Chu Xiang to drive him around the capital. He checked in at various popular attractions and food. He also had a good reason to do so. In his words, "You can't write a good novel behind closed doors. Traveling often and seeing more of life will give you more inspiration." Chu Xiang believed him and verified that it was true. Every time he stayed at home to write and spell, life would gradually become boring. The spirit of writing would gradually be worn out. However, when he often went to different places, met different people, and came into contact with all kinds of new things, it would make him lively and unearth many interesting things in life. Their readers realized that they had not updated for a long time. Chu Xiang maintained 15,000 chapters a day without updating, while Liang Jun resumed 6,000 chapters a day without updating. Many readers lamented that they wanted to return to the past. They left all kinds of comments asking if they had stopped writing and spelling. There were also CP fans who asked in a panic, "Is it because of the CP that the two of you are troubled? Were they trying to avoid arousing suspicion?" No. I can stop being a CP fan. I just want you guys to update more. Some people in the industry guessed. Could it be that their gay friends have already died? Sometimes gay friends get along very well, but for some reason they would part ways because of some things. This isn't anything strange. There's always a wall between the male and female genres. Their relationship has faded, right? It's not that cold. Liang Junzi and Zhui Erbuffon are good friends. The archaeology can be traced back to 10 years ago. They don't interact often. The most frequent interaction in the past 2 years was when they defended Emperor Chu's rights. Aren't their relationship very good? Perhaps they communicate more in private. There's no need to show it to us. I really like the interaction between the two of you. Please continue to show it. Just as everyone was worried about the relationship between Liang Jun and Chu Xiang, Liang Jun's latest chapter was for Chu Xiang. This time it was a pre-collection article. The goddess is about to start a new novel. The new novel has a different style, but it's the same feeling deep down. Support His Majesty Emperor Chu. Everyone go pre-collect. Yep, it's still the same tone and the same infatuation. The fans were finally relieved. They focused on Chu Xiang's new novel. Chu Xiang's new novel was about her previous life. Recently, ancient IP had become more popular. She could write a novel with a female lead theme, which was very suitable for the market. She had already finished saving the full text of Demon Emperor. All that was left was to update the manuscript box. It would be done in about half a month. Right now, she and Liang Jun were both writing new novels. She planned to start writing the ancient novel as soon as The Devil Emperor was finished. At the same time, she also modified the existing parts of Shangxian to maintain a continuation of 3,000 words per chapter. That was a half-finished novel left by the original owner. There were still many readers waiting to read it, so she planned to slowly finish that one. With these 3 novels going on at the same time, Jin Jiang negotiated the various copyrights of Demon Emperor. Chu Xiang received a considerable sum of copyright fees. The most impressive thing was that Jin Jiang had helped her get the role of screenwriter for Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor that she had written already had traces of a script. The confirmed producers, directors and other team members, as well as the copyright holder, were all very satisfied, so they decided on her. She was about to re-enter the entertainment industry with another identity. Chu Xiang still didn't know that she was privately called a koi by the production team of Demon Emperor. She had turned danger into safety time and time again. She had inadvertently obtained huge benefits for herself. Even the coupling had become a hot topic. It drove the flow of new and old novels. She really had the constitution of a koi. Many fans of Demon Emperor in the production team were guessing that if she became the screenwriter, would this drama be exposed? That you're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.